Think about it. The trash and recycling bins in our homes, even with normal use, are places where harmful bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli can multiply by the thousands. But like anyone, you want to keep your home and your family as healthy as possible. Delaware Trash Can Cleaning can help. They sanitize your trash cans with high-pressure hot water jets that can kill over 99% of the germs and bacteria in your cans in just a few minutes. To schedule your first cleaning, call 302-310-9075 or visit DelawareTrashCanCleaning.com.
Bridges have connected people for centuries. When it comes to helping small businesses build bridges with the people they serve, there's a new gold standard. 412 Communications offers a uniquely comprehensive array of media solutions to help your brand establish and maintain strong, lasting connections with your clientele.
Let's face it, saving for retirement doesn't happen overnight. It takes planning, and Limestone Pension Associates has spent the past 35 years helping small businesses do just that. Limestone specializes in crafting, planning, and handling the day-to-day administration of qualified pension plans tailor-fit to your company's needs and objectives. To schedule a consultation, call 302-479-8817 or visit limestonepension.net to learn more.
blue team has won the toss. And now it is time to begin the 66th Blue Gold All-Star Football Game. Saxon live, ready to kick off for the blue team. Javier Wright and Galen Forrest return for the goal.
Welcome back. Don Busby along with Bill Harmon from Delaware Stadium. And much to our surprise, kickoff is happening 10 minutes early. Bill, not sure why. There's no storms in the forecast, but here we go. Jackson Bly from Brandywine with the kickoff. The 66th annual game is underway. The ball is picked up and dropped by Brock Connor, and he is going to be dropped at the 20-yard line, where the gold team will take over, trying to win their 5th consecutive DFRC Blue Gold All-Star Football game here. It is 87 degrees, hot on the field. The sun's covering about half the field. Going to get down to about 81. The winds are west-northwest, 13 miles an hour. Could see gusts as much as 21 miles per hour. But Bill, the good news is there are no storms anywhere in the forecast.
Well, you're absolutely right. We've got a perfect night for football. It is going to be about 10 degrees hotter down on that turf, especially after baking all day long.
And so in under center is going to be the starting quarterback from Milford High School, and he drops back quickly. That's Sean Saxon, and it's going to be incomplete. Pass attempted to Jalen Warner from Delaware, broken up there. Nice job by number 50, Kevin DeGregorio from Archmere. Bill, we've talking about him already.
Well, he can really run to the ball, and also C.J. Coombs was out there to help make the play. The goal team, Coach Strickland's quarterback, starts out with an easy throw into the right flat. Just to get him going confidence-wise. Obviously no game, but at least it gets him off on the right foot.
Saxon with a handoff to his fullback and driven up the middle. He's going to get up to about the 22-yard line. That was Eric Reinecker from Sussex Tech. Ran for 756 yards and 5 touchdowns. Going to bring up a 3rd down for the Gold and 8 yards to go.
A bit of an inside zone play. It looked like it might have been Belly Reed at first, but Saxon not known for his running, though he can do it. But in that case, he's got to be reading the backside defensive end and deciding whether to pull it or give it. In that case, he read it as a give.
He's got 3 wide receivers on his right, 1 on the left, Reinecker on his hip there. Saxon drops back and looking to the sideline, and the ball is caught, but I believe they're going to say he was out of bounds, and that is the case. The attempt was to Jalen Morris, number 7, Jordan Green from the Military Academy on the breakup.
Well, that was a wonderful throw, especially going to his left, and that's sometimes for young quarterbacks. I mean, he's a graduated senior, but young in terms of just his overall career. That's a very hard throw where he had really nice balance, delivered the ball right on target, but just the timing was off just enough to drive him out of bounds. But a good throw by Saxton. Impressed me both times with his throws.
Zamir Gardner from Sussex Central is in to punt. Back deep is going to be number 12, Jordan Green for the blue team. Can't see the number on the other player back there also as we're underway here at the Blue Gold All-Star Game. An early kickoff. We apologize we didn't get through the pregame interviews. We had both Coach Bell Ace and Sean Strickland, but we were as surprised as anybody when the refs came to the center of the field. Low snap, and they get the kick away, and that's going to be Jordan Green. He fakes the handoff, and he's going to get around the left side, being chased out of bounds, and that's going to be number 11, Devin DeMoe from Smyrna, who's going to knock him out of bounds, and Blue's going to have the ball in Gold side of the field early on, Bill. So right now you've got to say advantage Blue.
Well, as we didn't get to set the pregame, the wind slightly in the punter's face there, only about a 2-8 hang, and Green did a really nice job there with the fake. got himself out-levered to get an extra 8 yards on that left sideline. So excellent field position here for the Blues' first possession.
1st and 10 on the gold 40. Connor Campbell in I formation for the Blue. Connor Campbell out of Sally's. Where's number 14 when he's dressed in the Sally's uniforms as well? And a fumble there on the handoff. Connor Campbell is going to get it. So in the background, you've got we got Devin Green and Kaishawn Drumgo. I believe the handoff attempt was to Devin Green. A little miscue there. And Bill, these guys have only practiced 3.5 times, really.
And that's really one of the salient points about this game. It is really difficult to get coordinated, get your timing down. You're just trying to learn the offense and the nomenclature before you actually even attack anybody. They had that scrimmage on Wednesday. Both teams went at it, but you can't do a lot because they're playing 2 days later. And so you're going to have some miscues. A good job by Campbell following that up. He was under, now they're back in a side-by-side gun.
2nd and 15, ball on the 45. Campbell, the quick out, finds his man. That's going to be number 10, Demir Hollingsworth, out of Howard, and he's driven out of bounds by Gunnar Abbott from Sussex Central. So a nice pickup there. Looks like they're going to be real close to the first down. Waiting, they're looking over there. It looks like they may take a measurement. They're waiting for the ball to be placed. Now the referee has called a first down, so the change will move. So Bill, a nice recovery there after that loss of 5 in the opening play.
Connor Campbell has always impressed me with his game. He just knows how to play when the lights are on, delivers a beautiful ball to Hollingsworth. They've already got great simpatico early on in the game.
The pitch is to Devin Green, trying to get around the left side, and he gets pushed out of bounds there by Nate Waite from Caesar Rodney after a pickup of about 3, going to bring up a 2nd and 7.
There's kind of Green at his best. That play probably should have gone for negative yardage, and he just has enough speed to turn the corner and make it a positive play. That was well defended by the goal. They did a great job of scraping down the line of scrimmage and making it really difficult for Green to ever get his shoulders turned down the field.
2nd down and 7 to go. Blue with the ball going left to right. Their first possession. Gold went 3 and out in a game that kicked off 10 minutes earlier than publicized. So we appreciate Benny Pinella's work back in the studio getting us right on the air. Didn't miss a minute of the football game. Campbell drops back and looks like he slipped, Bill, and it underthrew his attempted receiver, which was trying to get the ball out there to Deuce Racidlo, Sally's guy to a Sally's guy. Just fell short.
Well, Racidlo is an excellent receiver. He can play quarterback. He's a great defender. I love his versatility. One of the tenets of John Balace's offense is a lot of motion. They'll use multiple formations. They'll motion. They'll run jet sweeps. They'll motion and then be standing. May even come back with what we call twist motion. So he's very clever in his offensive attack.
John Balace, the head coach at Archmere, led them to their first state championship in 39 years. The handoff is to Devin Green from the military academy. He rumbles up to about the 15-yard line before he is tackled there by Jalen Warner from Delmar. And it's going to bring up another first down for the Blue, knocking on the door here, trying to snap Gold's 4-game win streak here at the DFRC All-Star Game. Blue holds a slight edge of 2 games in the overall series. There have been 3 ties in this game.
When in doubt, give the ball to Devin Green. That was a counter play. Really nice blocking by the right side of the line, pulling to the left. Well executed. Green is really tough once he gets a little bit of space.
1st and 10, ball on the 17-yard line. Campbell's rushed. He goes up the middle, and he's going to get all the way to the 4-yard line, tackled by a host of players led by number 32, Kyler Weaver from Laurel High, but not before Campbell picks up a first down, the 1st and goal from the 3-yard line.
Well, they go empty, and then they run quarterback draw, and a quarterback draw in the red zone. I just love the play call by John Balace and his offensive staff. A really clever play, especially putting the ball in Connor Campbell's hands down in the red zone. He is a playmaker, really finished the run well. John, he's going up to Scranton to be a baseball player, but I tell you what, if they had a football program, I think he'd be playing for them for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So Connor Campbell's got 1st and 3, ball on 1st and goal, on the 3-yard line. And he's going to give the handoff around the right end, and piled up there quickly. Looks like that was O.C. Chukwuocha, I believe.
You're absolutely right. Now, I go with O.C. because I coached him for 4 years. O.C., a terrific competitor. They go empty, they run jet motion. It was well defended by the goal team. They were able to get some penetration up, but O.C. is going to be attending Case Western. He's going to play football out there. A terrific student, comes from a wonderful family. an absolute pleasure to have coached him for 4 years at Friends School.
That's what the coach told me, Coach Belace, when I asked him. He said, just call him OC. That's what everybody else does. So we'll go with that as well. Campbell in the shotgun formation. Man goes in motion right to left, and the give is up the middle, and that is to Kaishon Drumgo. And he is in the end zone for a touchdown, 5-yard touchdown run by the senior from Caravelle Academy, Kaishon Drumgo.
Well, they run the jet sweep. They fake the jet sweep, and then they come back with counter with Drumgo. Drumgo is so good in the red zone because of his pad level. He runs with great forward lean, excellent leg action. He just powers in. That's the kind of player you want to have in the red zone, and well executed. That was a great drive by the blue team, picking up that big third down, the fine pass with Connor Campbell, and then the quarterback draw.
Jackson Bly's kick is up and good. The hold is by Jack Burns of St. Mark's, and it is 7-0. Blue strikes early. We're going to take a break here. You're listening to the 66th annual Blue Gold All-Star Football Game on Fox Sports 1290, 1410 WDOV, and iHeartRadio. Blue strikes first with a 7-0 lead. Bly kicks it off deep. That's Zaire Tart with the ball, and he's stacked up there at the 20-yard line. And that's where Blue will take over. Excuse me, Gold will take over, trailing 7-0. John Busby along with Bill Harmon. As a member of the community, you can support our DFRC Blue Gold program by liking DFRC on Facebook and following them on Instagram and Twitter at DFRC Blue Gold, as well as checking their calendar, donating, and best of all, attending DFRC events like the annual DFRC Blue Gold All-Star Football Game, Clough Classics, and Run and Walk. Sean Saxon from Milford is the quarterback. Gold went 3 and out in their first possession. And the handoff is up the middle. And the runner is taken down there at the 23-yard line, so a pickup of 3.
Well, Lucarelli, DiGregorio, who we've talked about often already, have just instilled that great scraping to the ball that Archmere has done all season long last year to go 13-0. They are tough guys. They read extremely quickly, and their lateral pursuit is superb. They really have excellent technique. Very well coached players.
It was Reinecker from Sussex Tech on the run there. Saxon steps back, and the pass is out to the right. And the pass was complete there to Diego Rodriguez of Sussex Central, brought down at the 23-yard line, so no gain on the play.
Another safe pass from Saxon out into the flat. The Blue defense. Now, let's not forget there are some rules that stabilize the defense, which is a great idea for this game. The corners have to play at least 3 yards off, safeties 5 off. You can't have blitzing, and I'll get into some other rules, but the Blue defense has done a nice job of defending out on the perimeter.
Saxon with a quick out, incomplete. Trying to get the ball out to the side there to Zach Caldwell from Middletown. On the coverage there was number 17 of the Blue, Michael Cornick from William Penn, a late addition to the squad.
Cornick did a great job there of driving on the ball. Now, from a defensive perspective, even though you have to stay in certain spots, you can play quarters, you can play cover 2, you can play man free, so that's where you'll get the variety of the defense, and we'll try to at least illustrate that from time to time. Another early punt here by the Gold team hasn't been able to get this offense in gear yet.
So second 3 and out for the Gold. Outstanding job by the Blue defense. Amir Gardner is back to punt. He gets it off, and it's going to take a couple bounces and go out of bounds at the 39-yard line. So not the same field position that Blue had on their first possession, Bill, when they went down the field and scored, but certainly good field position.
Well, it certainly is, and that was a really impressive first drive. Connor Campbell orchestrating that. He's the conductor of the offense. Sally's quarterback did a terrific job for Billy DiNardo. They had a terrific season down there. Scott Cook, Gene Deladon do a wonderful job with that offense, and Billy DiNardo, really one of the preeminent head coaches. He's been very fortunate to have players like Campbell, Dumas, who's playing here, did a nice job early on, and then Residlo, as we mentioned, who was a very versatile player. But Connor Campbell back out again in the gun, and he is as much of a threat to run as he is to pass.
Has halfbacks on each of his hips in a more traditional formation, as Bill called it. Snap goes back, low snap. Campbell gets it, pumps fake, and he's rushed, and he's taken down, fumbles the ball, but it looks like he got it back. In on the sack was Avery Copes from Milford, the 6', 175-pound linebacker that led the Buccaneers in tackles this season. So a heady play by Connor Campbell coming up with that football, Bill.
Copes coming off that backside edge. He was not as protected as well as you would like, and that's one of the issues in this. The way they have to block with the formation of the defense, there'll be 5 along the line of scrimmage. There's no blitzing from inside, but only off the edge, since all 5 players have to rush. Now, you can drop into coverage, but typically the defensive ends are rushing. The tackles have to do a better job of dealing with that.
And another fumble, this time on the snap, and I think Gold got on top of that, Bill, waiting for an official signal. Well, maybe not. Maybe they're saying the whistle blew, it looks like, because I thought Connor Campbell got up without the ball. But either way, it's going to be 3rd down on the 31-yard line here for the Blue. So a nice response by the Gold team.
And a little bit the beneficiary of some, they were trying to run a hitch and go out here on the right side. Campbell pump fake, but then he was sacked, as you mentioned, from the backside. The quarterback center exchanges, whether you're under or in the gun, it's always problematic, especially in a game where you've only had 4 days of practice.
Campbell rolls out to the right on the 3rd down, looking deep, trying to hook up with Demir Hollingsworth, and overthrows him on the coverage with Javier Wright. That's going to bring up a 4th down, and the Blue team is going to be forced to punt.
A nice change up there by the Blue offensive scheme. Instead of leaving Campbell in the pocket, they roll him out right. That gets him away from that backside rush. Hollingsworth had a step, and he was actually getting a little bracket coverage late, double teaming, and Hollingsworth was by him, but Campbell just overthrew him. That's one he'd probably like to have back.
And so Jackson Bly from Brandywine will be in to punt. He's going to play football at Alvernia next year. As Coach said, he's got great ball skills and athleticism, and I think he was a great addition, Bill, because I'm not sure they had a true punter until he joined the squad.
Or a place kicker, John.
Right.
So a very versatile player. We played against Brandywine this year. I like this young man when I studied him on film. He's got a nice leg, good hands, a nice athlete.
And back to receive is going to be Javier Wright. Whistle blew.
And John, these are the little penalties that are going to happen. Your special teams, you've got to have the right players on the field. You haven't had a lot of time to practice it, so you try to keep it as simple as possible. But having said that, these special teams plays can be big determinants in this game. So you've got to make sure that the long snapper is solid, your return people are conditioned well to catch the ball, and these can be big play opportunities.
So Bly will kick it away. Javier Wright is back, and he's going to get under it, see if he calls a fair catch. Nope, he's going to let it bounce, and it's going to bounce basically sideways and now back a little bit toward the Blue, so they're going to call it down at the 36-yard line is where the Gold will take over.
Bly did a great job there. That snap was a little high and off to the right. He stepped over, stepped up into the pocket. He had a 4-second hang on that. Now, as a returner, I know the wind and sometimes the sun can be a little problematic, but you really want to try to catch every ball. If you're not returning it cleanly, you can just call for the fair catch, because almost all of those punts are going to roll against you as a returner. So catch the ball, get underneath of it, make the decision whether you're going to return or not, but keep that ball from rolling against you.
Looks like already a quarterback change for the Gold as Zamir Gardner is in from Sussex Central. No, it's Ryan. It is Von Brandt, the big man. Gardner's next to him, looks like. And so Von Brandt, 6'7", takes a knee. Not sure what happened there. And I'm surprised Von Brandt is in this early, Bill. I'm not sure, whether you are or not, but
Well, Coach Timpson, one of the assistants to Sean Strickland, may have said, hey, let me put my guy in here. Von Braun, as we talked about, is a tight end, and I know he is a good route runner. He's got great hands, and they used him in practice. Here at 6'7", he certainly presents a great opportunity to throw the ball down the field. He's got a great arm.
Steps back here, looking to the left side, and he's got the man beat. Now underthrows him, and there's going to be a flag called there. It's going to be an interference call, and the interference is going to be against Ossie. They were trying to get it out there to Zaire Tart. Tart came back on the run and got run into.
Well, the reason that was a penalty was that Ossie bumped him. Now, you can face guard in high school, unlike at other levels, and certainly not in the pros. But you can face guard as long as you don't touch the receiver. And Tart has great speed. I think Ossie at that point realized, hey, I'm in a little bit of a problem here as they rolled the coverage that way. Got his left hand on him, and that's what created the PI.
And so the second penalty on the blue. And, the fact they changed quarterbacks already, Bill, that's just the nature of this game as well. You go 3 and out twice. They may have decided that Saxon was only going to play the first 2 series, and they just happened to go quick, and they weren't effective. It might have had as much to do with that as anything, but it is Von Brandt in now, and he does have they're going to call it a second down and 1 at the 45-yard line, and the give is up the middle, and that's Zamir Gardner, who is a quarterback and a running back, and playing a running back position right now with Von Brandt in there. So if this is a first down, and it is, it's going to be the first down of the game for the Gold team. So maybe a good switch by Coach Strickland.
Well, you just never know how they've schemed this out. You want to get everybody in. You want to get everybody in on both sides of the ball because it's an all-star game, and whether it's 2 series or they just decide to make the change. I like Von Braun. He's been around for a long time. He's got really nice stats. He's really tough in the pocket. Not known for his running ability, but he'll stand in there against a big rush.
He drops back. He had 2 wide receivers on the left, 1 on the right, trying to get it over there to Devin DeMoe from Smyrna. Nice coverage there by C.J. Coombs. The throw was really an uncatchable one anyway, but Coombs was there in case of that.
Coombs has had excellent coverage. He's got really good feet. He flips his hips extremely well because DeMoe has outstanding speed. Now, he's as much of a threat to catch the tear screen, the short wide receiver screen, as he is a ball downfield. So he's a really difficult cover, and at some point you may see the blue team rolling some coverage towards him. Now, you can do that. You just can't get up and press him.
2nd and 10 on their own 47. Gold trail 7-0, 3:37 to play in the first quarter. John Busby along with Bill Harmon. Handoff is to Zamir Gardner again. He rumbles up the middle, and he's going to get to the 44-yard line, so about a yard short of the first down. Ossie on the tackle there for the blue team.
I really like Zamir Gardner. He's got wonderful hips, a great vision runner, has good patience as well to set up the blocks on that little counter play, and once he finds the hole and can get his pad level down, he is really tough to tackle, but he found a guy that can do it, and that's Ossie from Wilmington Friends School, who did a great job climbing from his secondary position down into the box.
Von Brandt hands it off there. That's to Zamir Gardner again. He gets stacked up there by a host of blue players. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up a 4th down and 1. I would think Gold would go for this one.
I would hope they would. Certainly in a game like this, I think you've got to be as aggressive as possible. You and I talked in the pregame about maybe some more trick plays. We haven't seen any of those yet, but be ready for that, John. They may try some new formations, a throwback, a in place. You never know, a little bit of trickery. A nice play on that last one by Devon Lum from Hodson coming off the edge to make the play.
Von Brandt talking to both his center and his left guard there to see if he goes up that way, and that's exactly what he does. Stretches that 6'7" body and the ball out. I believe he picked up a first down. No official sign yet. And I don't know, Bill, the way the one ref is running in, and I think he's the one that's going to get the ball, he may not be at the first down mark.
By that foot, they're going to give it to him without a measurement. Going to hurry this game up a little bit. We talked in the pregame show about Raquel Frazier from Howard, 6'3", 290. He's just a giant man in there. He's a 2-gapper. He did a great job there of playing off the double team, split it with his hands, and was able to get in and make the tackle, even though it resulted in the first down. It was really well played by Frazier.
So 1st and 10 on the blue 43. Von Brandt throws it up. Winging a prayer there, trying to hit number 11, Devin DeMoe, and on the coverage there was number 17, Mike Cornick from William Penn, and he just got rid of that ball before he got sacked.
It's the edge pressure that really is going to bother these quarterbacks. As I mentioned, there's no blitzing from the interior. There can be some stunts, but you've got to be lined up where the rules stipulate. The nose guard is right over top of the center. The tackles have to be over the tackles. The ends are either on the tight end or just outside in space. But you've got to be able to slide your protection or leave a back end to handle that free rusher off the edge if they're breaking 5.
All right, it's going to bring up 2nd and 10. And the pressure does come in. The handoff is there to Brock Connor from Caesar Rodney. And he barrels almost to the 40-yard line. They will mark it at the 41-yard line and bring up a 3rd and long for the goal team.
Who's really been active off the edge here is C.J. Coombs. He is coming in as a defensive end now, working his angles. He's put pressure on Von Brandt the last time, and that time did a nice job of closing down and making sure the play was run inside him. He has great feet and really good quickness off the edge.
3rd down and about 8 for the goal. Von Brandt has a running back on his right hip, and he's going to wing it out to the side, and the pass is caught. And actually, that was not Von Brandt. That was Sean Saxon back in the game, hooking up with Zach Caldwell. So a change midway there, Bill, from Von Brandt, who was moving his team right along, and they brought Saxon in to make that pass completed, and it's going to bring up a 4th and 1. Saxon stays in the game.
Saxon very accurate to his left side, and Zach Caldwell, I've always been impressed with his route running. He's got terrific hands, is able to find those open spaces in the defense.
And they're going to call timeout, Gold, discuss this. They're definitely going for it, going to discuss the play. We're going to take it with them. 51 seconds left to play in the first half. Blue leads Gold 7-0. You're listening to the Blue Gold All-Star Game here on Fox Sports 1290, 1410, and iHeartRadio.
The DFRC Blue Gold e-bike bracket for your chance to win a 26-inch electric bike donated by Pentagon Electric Bikes in Newark, Delaware. Tickets will be available for purchase on main concourse until the 3rd quarter of tonight's game. Winner will be announced at the conclusion of the 3rd quarter. The Delaware Football Officials Association and the Northern Delaware Football Officials Association are proud to be a part of the 66th DFRC Blue Gold All-Star Football Game. Stop by the Northern Officials table at the main concourse to find out more about how to become a Delaware football official.
Do I go? .45 seconds left to play here at Delaware Stadium in the first quarter of the 66th annual DFRC Blue Gold All-Star Game. John Busby, along with Bill Harmon, Eric Reinecker, ran for a 1st down on 4th and 1. So Gold has the ball on the blue 33-yard line, trying to tie this game up. And if they win this game, it'll be the 5th straight win for the Gold team here at the Blue Gold All-Star Football Game. Saxon is back in at the quarterback for Milford. And on his right hip, that looks like it's Brock Connor from Caesar Rodney. Saxon back to throw, whips it out, finds his man, and that is going to be Zachary Caldwell from Middletown. And on the tackle was Jordan Green from Delaware Military Academy.
Well, 3 of Saxon's 4 completions have been to the left. He really does a nice job of getting his hips open and directing the ball. I really like his action. 6'4", 200. As we mentioned, he's been a quarterback since his freshman year, a 3-year captain. You can tell why, and he really slings it extremely well. An excellent pattern out there, as I mentioned before, by Caldwell. And the key to this drive, 2 4th and 1 completions, so to speak.
All right, that brings us to the end of the first quarter. Blue leads Gold 7-0. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this.
Cheerleading squad on the field for their special cheer. Let's give the Gold All-Star cheerleading squad another round of applause. Also, there are 8 seconds back on the clock to end the first quarter. Okay, this is the first quarter play, 8 seconds on the clock.
Well, we're not going to try to outguess the Coach Strickland and his staff, so quarterback conversion, but they have done a great job on 4th and 1 twice this quarter.
And they also didn't switch sides after the first quarter. Is that a tradition?
There was 8 seconds left.
Oh, so they fixed that. Okay.
Yes, they did. They revised the clock, and there's going to be well, they're going to let it run out here, and I think they're going to flip ends.
All right. So apparently now the quarter is officially over.
There's 1 second remaining
No,
on the clock.
1 second remaining in the clock. Well, this is summer football. These kind of things happen.
Everybody's working on getting their games right for the fall. You're absolutely right.
So
the game clock says 0, but they're going to put 1 more second on, and they'll not an untimed down. They run it from 1 second.
Von Brandt's going to drop back, and he's going to look over to the right. Had his man, but overthrew him, and that was Zaire Tart, who has been a target a few times today, and they haven't been able to hook up. In on the coverage in there was O.C. from Wilmington Friends, and now that is going to officially bring us in to the end of the first quarter. We're going to take another break. Blue leads Gold 7-0, but Gold is knocking on the door. You're listening to the DFRC Blue Gold All-Star Football Game on Fox Sports 1290, 1410 WDOV, and iHeartRadio. John Busby along with Bill Harvey back at Delaware Stadium. Blue leads Gold, and Bill, after going 3 and out, Gold makes a quarterback change, and it's been effective.
It certainly has, and I give the quarterbacks and the offense a lot of credit. When you're switching quarterbacks in and out, that sometimes the cadence inflection can be difficult to deal with, but so far Gold has been pretty. And we're going to get a penalty down on the pass into the first half. Been really executed quite well in this drive. 14-play drive. This is the 15th play. 8 passes, 7 runs.
That was Ryan Von Brandt trying to get it out there to the left, and a penalty on the blue defender. Waiting for the officials to reset the ball here. They were trying to get the pass out to Zach Caldwell from Middletown, so a couple of Appomattox School District guys trying to hook up Appo to Middletown. And you can see, if you're watching the live stream, Coach Timpson out there talking to Zachary Caldwell. Not sure if he was talking about the route he ran maybe or what the issue was, but they're marching off the penalty. And we're waiting to see where they end up putting the football down. And it's going to be at the 11-yard line. Still not going to be a first down, though, I don't believe.
Football is placed at the 11-yard line. First down.
It is going to be a first down. They just haven't moved the chains yet. The ref made the signal for a first down. Now they're changing the sticks, and they're moving the flags. Blue leads Gold, 7-0, 11:40 to play here in the second quarter. If you're wondering why the game's going so quickly, A, it is going quickly, but B, they ended up kicking off 10 minutes earlier than advertised for one reason or another. And Von Brandt's got a first down. Man on his right hip, he looks to the end zone, throws it. That could be an interference call, but no flag there. And on the coverage, that was Alex Brown from Dickinson. And once again, they were trying to feed the ball to Zach Caldwell. So second time they tried to hook up Von Brandt to Caldwell to mill man.
The blue team played man-to-man down here in the red zone. That was a great match to get the block, but he cut off a linebacker's attack angle, and that allowed the runner to get more width and get at least some positive yardage on that play.
So it's going to be a ball on the 9-yard line, so about a 3rd and 8 here. Von Brandt, shotgun, Reinecker on his right hip, 3 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Going in motion there is Zaire Tart, and they're going to throw it to Tart, and they finally hook up. So Von Brandt to Tart finally works, and Gold gets on the board. 6 points on the tally. There's going to be an excessive penalty celebration, I think, in the end zone. Bill, I'm not sure about that call. We'll see what happens there. It looked like they just were celebrating like you should do at the high school level.
Well, that was a really nice call by Coach Strickland and his staff, Coach Timpson from Appoquinimink. They run Tart in cross motion, and then they run a wheel route out of the backfield. He had Drum go on him one-on-one. That's a tough cover for an outside linebacker, and Tart, who I think is one of the more versatile players in this entire game, did a great job of collecting the ball right on the boundary there and being able to secure the touchdown. A really outstanding call, an excellent execution, a perfectly placed pass.
So they are going to call a dead ball on sportsmanlike conduct against the goal team there. And Bill, again, I didn't see anything. You know, I'm as big a sportsmanship guy as there is. I talk about it on the air all the time, but I didn't see anything there. Not sure if you saw something.
I did not, and it probably then means there was some language said after the play that the official, the closest official. That's why, and John, I know you make this point all the time. I mean, just play the game.
Yeah.
Let the talking. You can talk after the game or before the game, but when you're out on the field of play, especially with officials now listening for those type of things, you just don't want to put your team at a disadvantage.
So Hignott is on to try to tie this game up. On the hold is going to be Zach Caldwell from Middletown, who just missed 2 catches, bad throws, but then ended up getting the score for the goal team, Zaire Tart, and the kick is good, and it is tied here 7-7. We're going to keep it right here, Bill, and I want to talk a little bit about the week leading up to tonight. You know, it used to be the Blue Gold game was 2 weeks long. They came into the University of Delaware and they spent 2 full weeks practicing 2, sometimes 3 times a day, doing fun activities, working with their buddies in the hand-in-hand program. And then they cut it down to 1. And then with COVID last year, they cut out the overnight camp at the University of Delaware. This year they were set to come back, but at the last minute, and I say last minute, it was about 2 weeks before it was scheduled to start, they went away from the camp concept because the COVID numbers were going back up. The university tightened up its rules about having masks on inside any building or facility here, and so it basically came back to they had the media day at each of the respective practices. Newark High hosted the Blue, Cesar Rodney hosted the Gold. They had two a days basically for Sunday, 1 a day Sunday, 2 a days Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, scrimmage Thursday, quick fixes Friday morning, scrimmage Wednesday, quick fixes Thursday here on Friday. You coach football. That's got to impact your ability to play in that short of a time.
I give these players and coaches a lot of credit to be able to get any kind of product out on the field. And we can debate long, short, and all that. I think, to me, the biggest issue, unfortunately, is the fact that the kids don't get that extra bonding that you get when you live together in the dorm environment. And I think that's part of what this is. Now, of course, ultimately it's about the buddies and all those relationships with the DFRC. But that is another factor that really becomes most apparent to me. Obviously, you can deal with the product being what it is when you have a short week of practice. They usually practice from 2 to 7, and you can't practice every bit of that time, so sometimes you've got to have organizational, there are a lot of walkthroughs, so it is difficult, but I just regret for the kids the fact they don't get the bonding experience.
Jonathan Wiltshire with the kick, and it's Jordan Green around the left side. There was a flag down, and it looks like it could be a holding call. We'll see if this holds up. If it does, it's going to be a return by Jordan Green of about 72, 73 yards, but I get the feeling, Bill, this one's coming back.
Well, that's a return that I really like. A very clever call by the special teams group of the Blue team. You start your return right, and then you cut back across the field. And if you don't get good contain, and if you don't get the rerouting of the coverage team, their opportunity to turn the corner, as Green did, and get in the open field. I think they're going to get a hold here at around the 7-yard line. It's just one of those unfortunate things. You teach your players, block above the waist, block the front, don't grab any cloth. Just sometimes what we call a shield or a screen block, everybody's good, especially in the open field where you might have to maintain contact for a long time. It's going to come back, but boy, that was a very well-designed and executed kickoff return.
Yeah, that's one of those plays that you wonder if the penalty was even going to impact the play. And so, but the penalty is a penalty, and as you pointed out, it was in an open spot there. And so there we have the ball. Blue has it 1st and 10 on their own 32-yard line, their 3rd possession of the game. We're tied up here 7-7. John Busby along with Bill Harmon. And the handoff is going to be to Devin Green. I believe that's his first carry of the carries. Not able to come up with any yards, and he averaged 2.2 yards a carry. 34 touchdowns. He's going to play football at Edinburgh University.
A nice play by Connor Bartlett from Polytech. I had a chance to do a game that he played in. I think he had at least a dozen tackles in that game. He's got a great nose for the football. He moves very well, uses his hands, and has great fits. A nice play there on a very good runner.
So Connor Campbell's got a 3rd and 12 on his own 35. 2 running backs, one on each hip. In motion there is Demir Hollingsworth. Campbell in the background from Sally's, in the backfield I should say, rolls out to his right. He can run, and looks like he may tuck it and run, and he does, and a nice open field tackle there. That was number 33, Wyatt Wright from Woodbridge, one of the captains of the goal team, defensive player of the year for Woodbridge, led the team in tackles.
Wyatt Wright is a terrific athlete. To make that play on Connor Campbell, who has wonderful hips and gave it a little dance move out there and was almost able to escape. But I'll tell you, the key to that play was Devin Green's initial block on the edge rusher. He did a great job of sitting in the saddle, taking him on physically, turning him inside. That's what allowed Campbell to escape out into the right flat.
And so Jackson Bly from Brandywine, a late addition to the Blue Squad, is going to be back, standing at his own 27-yard line to punt away to Javier Wright from Laurel. He's on his 35, inching his way up. And we're going to have a timeout. Gold Squad, as they get ready to take this punt, must not have been ready for the formation. We're going to take our final timeout of the first half. With them, you're watching the DFRC Blue Gold All-Star Game here on Fox Sports 1290, 1410 WDOV and iHeartRadio.
Donovan Mack with the punt block.
Back here at Delaware Stadium, Blues punt was blocked by Donovan Mack. It squirted into the end zone and was picked up by the Gold for a touchdown. And that looks like it's number 33, Wyatt Wright of Woodbridge, with the touchdown there. It is number 33, Wyatt Wright, picks it up in the end zone, falls on it for the score, and just like that, Gold, who was trailing 7-0 early on, has a 13-7 lead.
Well, Donovan Mack might be one of the best athletes for a lineman there is in the state. He's got wonderful feet. He's done a great job physically with his conditioning. He's going to be at Delaware State. He did a great job there of coming off that edge from the right side. Did a good job of running through the block point. He is really quick for a big man. An excellent play by Donovan Mack.
And so on to try to extend this lead to a full touchdown is going to be number 14 for the Gold. Looking for his number. We had some changes at the last minute. The kick is up and no good. Hits the crossbar and falls in. So score is going to remain 13-7. Gold over Blue. A little skirmish there at the line of scrimmage, broken up quickly by some of the players. And so with that, we're going to keep it right here Each year, DFRC distributes proceeds from their fundraising events to nonprofit organizations and agencies that enrich the lives of Delaware citizens with intellectual disabilities. DFRC supports programs that serve Delawareans in all 3 counties statewide that encourage these citizens to maximize their potential, independence, and enjoyment of life. Gold leads blue 13-7, 8:15 to play here in the second quarter. And Bill, this is a game that, it's an all-star game, but these guys want to win, and it'll be interesting to see if a play like that, where all of a sudden you get a touchdown that you weren't expecting, we'll see what the reaction is both by the blue offense and the gold defense.
Well, I've always thought that special teams in an all-star game can really be transformative. And you saw the block there by Donovan Mack from St. George's. We saw the great return that unfortunately was partially called back with the penalty. So these can be game-changing ones. You just don't get enough time in this short space of these 4.5 practices to get all the install in of your offense and then work your techniques on defense, what coverages you're going to play in the back end, and then worry about special teams, much less actually just get your personnel right. So it's really a big challenge. So I have always thought that in a game like this, especially with a short week, if you get your special teams fairly well organized and you have your best players on there and you can execute, you can make game-changing plays, and it looks like the Gold adhered to that because they've done a really good job with the touchdown. Now, having said that, the Blue had the great return that was called back because of the hold in the open field, but still, these are plays that both teams can really change the game's environment.
It's going to be Jonathan Wiltshire from Middletown kicking off, and the ball's taken in there at the 20-yard line. Juke move to the left.
There by the Gold kickoff team.
And it's going to be Connor Campbell back on the field, trying to get his team. They had a good first drive, haven't done much since. Handoff is to Devin Green from Delaware Military Academy. He hasn't had much success on the ground either, despite coming into the game averaging 9 2-point yards a carry and scoring 34 touchdowns for the Seahawks.
A lot of penetration right now by the Gold front 5, and it's going to be really important here that whether you're blocking man or zone, that you tighten up your splits a little bit and be able to get man on man so you can give a player like Green a path. Right now, the front 5 of the Gold team is winning the battle.
So it's going to be Connor Campbell in the shotgun, Devin Green on his left hip, 2 wide receivers on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Man goes in motion. The handoff is made there, and that is going to be Andre Modis. He's going to be driven out of bounds there. Nice tackle by Avery Copes of Milford, forcing him out there on the line. A pickup of about 2 on the carry. Actually, it was Caleb Yanovich, I believe, on the carry.
I loved Avery Copes' technique there. He's playing that DN to the right. He's scraping to the outside, a really nice rip technique. You can tell he's a wrestler, and he really used his body positioning there terrifically well. That was an outstanding play to send that play horizontally, which is exactly what you want to do. Set an edge and don't let the man be able to turn his shoulders up the field. An excellent play.
Going to be a 3rd down and 8 for Blue, trying to avoid going 3 and out for the 3rd drive in a row after a successful touchdown drive to lead off the game. Fake handoff. Connor Campbell heads out to the right, throws it back over the middle to nobody. Flag on the play, though. We'll see what that call is going to be, Bill. If it's against a defense, the question will be what the call is, whether it's enough to pick up a 1st down or maybe gets them close enough where they might think about going at 4th and down. That'd be a long shot, though. Going to be an illegal motion. Oh.
That's probably a defensive penalty, John, and we went over some of the rules. I didn't see what it was. It may have been a blitzing linebacker. You can only blitz your inside linebackers when you're inside the 5-yard line. They have to play at least 3 yards back. The corners have to be 3 yards off. The safety's 5 yards off, and then you have to be lined up appropriately, as I mentioned. Nose tackle over the center, tackles over the second man out on the formation, and then the end's wider than that.
So that's a great explanation. Bill. Michael Santos was explaining to the ref how he was down in a 3-point position and then maybe got up and not sure. So I think you're right. I think it's one of those DFRC.
Very quick and uses his hands extremely well, and he brings a lot of force to the point of attack. Also, Michael Santos did a good job there of getting up the field and sending that play back in. So a nice teamwork there. St. George's two defensive players.
Jackson Bly from Brandywine, punting right to left as we see it. Javier Wright backs up to his 25-yard line, makes a move, makes a left move, up above the 30, 35, and then is caught up to and brought down by Andre Modis of Brandywine at the 39-yard line, where Gold will take over with a 13-7 lead, 6:11 to play here in the second quarter of the 66th annual DFRC Blue Gold All-Star Football game.
Really impressive return there by Javier Wright from Laurel. He is a very versatile player, a good return man. He's got great hips, did a nice job there of catching that ball right at the edge of where the sun was hitting the shade. I thought that was an exceptional play, and then you noticed he got immediately up the field, so a really nice run getting vertical immediately. A good return by the Laurel player.
And going to make 6'7", 220. Four-year starter at quarterback for the Jaguars, going to go to Virginia Military Institute as a tight end. Also helped lead his unified basketball team to the state championship finals where they fell to Dover, but it was great seeing several elite varsity athletes from other sports playing on that Special Olympics unified team. Pass is complete up the middle. It's going to be 2nd and 3 on the 46-yard line.
Nice block by Lucas Rupert, the right guard from Cape Henlopen. Did a good job on that inside power play of working up to the second level.
And Von Brandt is in the shotgun position. Looks like Zamir Gardner is on his right. Zamir Gardner is the third-string quarterback on this team. Led Sussex Central to the second round of the playoffs this year. Gardner gets the handoff up the middle, and he's going to be brought down by Wakeel Frazier. We mentioned his name in the pregame show a couple times.
Well, they try to trap Frazier, and he's just too big to be trapped. They did a nice job of keeping his inside shoulder level with the line of scrimmage, kind of working down. He avoids the kick-out block of Rupert. A really excellent play. We talk about Frazier being a two-gapper. That time out at the tackle spot, he's got one-on-one, and they block down, and he closes down. Really nice technique.
3rd and 1 on their own 49-yard line. Probably two-down territory here for the Gold. They went for it a couple times in similar situations on their first scoring drive. Man in motion there is Zaire Tart going right to left. Handoff over the right tackle. Looks like they picked up the first down. That was Gardner on the carry. And they are going to signal first down for the Gold team right there just shy of midfield with a 13-7 lead, 4:48 left to play here in the second quarter.
That was a great forward lean, but I'll tell you what, Mason McCluskey from Delaware Military Academy, he did a great job of filling with his inside shoulder, then comes off to help assist on the tackle. An outstanding play. DMA had a great team this past year, a great run. It took 2 fantastic plays by Archmere to secure it in regular season and then in the semifinals.
Von Brandt gets the snap in the shotgun, looks to his right, fires to his right, finds his man. That's Devin DeMoe from Smyrna, brings it in. Knocked out of bounds there by the Blue. That was number 8, Tim Hill, and Jack Burns from St. Mark's drove him out of bounds.
Tim Hill's been a really big, not surprise, but just an outstanding player in the camp. Coach Belace told us that he had an outstanding camp. He's got great quickness, closes on the ball well. Burns, also a very impressive player. A baseball player, pitched for St. Mark's. Matt Smith, the head coach there. Burns is a terrific competitor, can play a lot of different positions on the field. Really fun to see him out there playing.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 2nd and 6 on the 47-yard line. Von Brandt backfires up the middle, has his man. That's Zaire Tart, man who has the 1 touchdown catch for Gold. Good for a catch, moves the ball all the way up to the 24-yard line. So a great look by Von Brandt, great throw, and Zaire Tart hauls it in.
Well, Zaire Tart did a wonderful job there with his body control. He was able to turn back to the inside to handle that pass from Von Braun, who did a nice job there against not a lot of pressure, but he's so good at overseeing because of his 6'7" height down the field, delivered a really nice pass into the open spot, put it on his body. Tart does the rest.
It's going to be a timeout Blues. They're going to try to regroup here with Gold driving down. They'll have a first down on their 24-yard line. We're going to keep it right here. DFRC's Education Awareness Program is a direct outreach to schools at all levels across Delaware to promote understanding of individuals with intellectual disabilities and awareness that persons with differing abilities are a natural and basic part of our society and lives. To learn more about this program, email info@dfrc.org. I want to mention our Blue Gold All-Star buddies. Anybody familiar with the All-Star game, or if you're not, the hand-in-hand program is a wonderful showcase of what this game is all about, where the players are buddied up with students from around the state with intellectual disabilities. They get to do fun activities together leading up to the game, and then they get to see their buddies on the field. Some of that was altered this year because of the COVID situation, and of course they look forward to getting back to that. Madison Jeffers is the gold all-star buddy, Ryan Hallett the blue all-star buddy. So congratulations to Madison and Ryan for being selected as the blue gold all-star buddies of the year this year. 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line. Gold knocking on the door. There's a flag thrown. Something on the line of scrimmage. Wait for the referee to make the official signal here. And we got a false start, illegal motion against the Gold, so that'll back them up 5 yards. Be 1st down and 15. And Bill, we've seen some penalties that you're going to see when you don't, you practice, 12 times, whatever they practice, not even 12 times, 4 days, double sessions, and that's going to happen. Especially we talked about how the lineups shuffle in and out. You got guys coming in and out. It's not like their traditional football game where unless somebody gets hurt on the offensive line, you make a change.
Well, the timing with the center and the quarterback, whether you're under or you're back in gun, the voice inflection from different quarterbacks can always throw you off. What I've been impressed with is the clever use of Tart with the motion.
And Von Brandt's helmet comes off as he collides there with Nick Duncan, a charter of Wilmington, and then he forces his way forward, but they're going to say his knee was down where his helmet came off, so it's actually going to be a loss of about half a yard. But you mentioned Von Brandt's not a spectacular runner, Bill, but I went to just about every Appo game. It's where my kids go to high school, and that's the kind of run he can make. Around the end, he's not going to sprint for 25 yards, but he's going to pick up 4 or 5 at a time, which he would have had if his helmet didn't come off when his knee hit the ground.
I'm not sure I want to see 6'7", 220 coming at me off the edge either. No, Von Brandt made the right read. That's what we call the zone read. They run the zone to the right. Von Brandt did a great job of spying the end. He's looking for the end to close down. If he does that along the line of scrimmage, he pulls the ball, and then he's able to run out there. If he comes up the field, it's a give, and then the cutback's available. So good decision there by Von Brandt. And by rule, once his helmet comes off wherever he is, that's where the play ends.
2nd down and 25, and Saxon is back in. He rolls left, fires to the end zone, and good coverage there. No penalty. They were trying to get the ball in there to number 88, Diego Rodriguez from Sussex Central. Nice coverage on the play there by Jack Burns of St. Mark's, and so it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10 at the 25.
One thing I'll say about Jack Burns, he has a lot of energy out in the field. He is really a fun player to watch. He's got great enthusiasm. It carries over in all his sports, but he's really a fine young man. He had great coverage there. Saxon did a nice job of working himself out of the pocket, but then got himself squared up to make a pretty tough throw. It was almost a catchable ball right at the boundary level. So good coverage by Burns, and I think really nice quarterback action by Saxton.
And a good no call by the official in the end zone. The hands were probably on the body, but it did not impact the play. The ball was not going to be called. A nice job by the official there in the end zone.
You've got to have some all-star officiating, right? You can't call everything in this game just because the lack of preparation time.
And Von Brandt. Actually, Saxon is back in. He dumps it over there to Tart. Tart around the left side and gets driven out of bounds by Andre Modest from Brandywine back at the original line of scrimmage. So that's going to bring up a 4th down, and I think it's probably a little bit too far for a field goal, Bill. It would probably be about a 47-yarder.
I love the call. I like screens in the red zone, especially when you have a guy like Tart to throw to. Nick Duncan, even though he did not make the tackle, did a great job of slowing down Tart in the open field, at least making him cut back to allow the rest of the tackling action to arrive. But these are tough plays. A guy like Tart has just so many different moves. You're trying to be coached. Hey, I'm going to stay on that inside hip. I'm going to keep my feet. I'm going to try to run through the man. Sometimes that's easier said than done, but Duncan did a really nice job there of facilitating that play.
Saxon in, Tart in motion right to left. Saxon drops back, trying to throw it to the right end zone. Going to be a flag there. Looked like the hands were going both ways, trying to get the pass in there to Devin DeMoe. And trying to see the number who was on the coverage there.
Tim Hill.
Tim Hill on the coverage. Good eyes there, Bill, by you. The two officials are talking about it. I think what they're talking about, Bill, is I saw both guys pushing off. They could call it either way, and it looks like that's what they're trying to discuss, which way it's going to go. Or are they going to pick it up? They've moved the flag from where it was originally thrown. Referees are discussing it.
A lot of conversation here. There was definitely contact on both sides, and DeMo was a really tough cover, and I think they made a good decision.
I agree.
Back and forth. DeMo had a little hand on him. Hill did. Just kind of really good offense and defense almost simultaneously, and I think that's a good decision by the officials.
And so it's going to be turnover on downs. And I want to mention the officials because they donated Terry Handy, umpire Tom Farrow, head linesman Robbie Reed, line judge Wayne Hurd, side judge Nelson Burbage, field judge Charlie Gibbs, back judge Al Tunnell, and field spotter Jim Ferguson. Your clock operator is Derek Hodge, and your chain crew Pete Celeberti, Carl Phelps, Dave Frazier, and Tom Ignafo. Again, all donated their time. Not only donated their time, Bill, they had to drive up from downstate. Gas isn't cheap last time I looked.
Sadly, you're correct, and all the volunteers that are involved with the DFRC in this game are just terrific.
Yep, and so Connor Campbell back in the game, gets the ball out to the left side there, and it looks like the ball is complete to Ossie from Wilmington Friends.
Ossie, a very versatile player. He can play in the slot, he can play in the backfield, you can throw him the ball in space. He's excellent after the catch. Campbell really does a nice job of stepping up in the pocket. John, 11 different players have made tackles for the Gold defense.
Wow, that's that courtesy of Corey Silbergleton, who has joined us here in the box at Wilmington Friends, baseball player and football player. So we appreciate him volunteering his time here with us, giving us the stats. We've got a whistle on the play. The referees are going to gather together.
John, Corey was a co-captain with Ossie and did a great job of leading us. Unfortunately, he had an injury in the preseason against St. Elizabeth's, had his shoulder operated on, which enabled him to get back for baseball. But he was a young man that never missed a practice, even though he was not able to play and getting a lot of treatment. So we're really happy to have Corey with us, giving us some stats, but also it was an absolute pleasure to coach him.
Campbell back, looking deep, has his man, and that's number 12 with the catch, Jordan Green. Nice tackle there by the goal, but not until Green hauls it in at the 20-yard line. So a spark for the blue team. They trail 13-7 with 1:14 to play. Blue scored first. Gold rattled off 13 straight points, including a touchdown recovery in the end zone off a block punt by Donovan Mack. And it's going to be the blue ball here. Do we have a timeout, Bill? I didn't see.
Yes, you do, John. Well, what a nice play by Campbell. He rolls left, and he's got a post pattern going from left to right by Green, who did a great job of tracking the ball. I believe he averaged 17.3 yards per catch with 2 touchdowns for DMA, but that was a wonderful pattern. When you run out of the shadows into the light, so to speak, very difficult to track the ball. So important that you track the last 4 or 5 feet, and he did a great job. And Campbell, again, making those big plays for his team with his feet out on the edge.
Mark your calendars for the DFRC Southern Delaware Blue Gold All-Star Football Golf Classic, Friday, August 6, 2022 at the beautiful Mapledale Country Club. It's a full day of fun that includes a shotgun start and the captain's choice, lunch, awards, dinner, and numerous prizes. If you or your group would like to play, email info@dfrc.org or visit dfrc.org. Going to bring up a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the blue. Knocking on the door here. Campbell with the counter action there. Devin Green with the carry. And again, Bill, Devin Green continues to struggle, but I think that's a lot the Gold defense as much as anything.
Well, they've had terrific penetration. Another Laurel player, J.J. Parker Cannon, did a great job of getting off his block and getting penetration. Green, it's not his fault. He just has not had any space to run.
Under a minute to play, 2nd and 13. Campbell looking for the end zone, and that ball is going to be caught, but it's going to be out of bounds, trying to hook up there with Demir Hollingsworth from Howard. And on the coverage was Gunnar Abbott from Sussex Central, going to bring up a 3rd and 13. 48 seconds left to play here in the first half.
Even though that was an incomplete play, that had a lot of really great qualities to it. First of all, Gunnar Abbott did a great job combating with Hollingsworth out there, forcing him to actually run out of bounds. Hollingsworth made a great catch, and I'll tell you, Campbell put it in about the only place he could have with that coverage, which was just over the outstretched arm. So 3 wonderful elements, and it ends up as an incomplete pass. But good play by Abbott in particular there, not allowing Hollingsworth to have any space to make a play on the edge.
And a whistle has blown. We have another timeout here. Can't be a whole lot of timeouts left for either team, 1 each. According to the scoreboard, I don't think an official timeout was called, but the clock has stopped. Referee is standing over the ball. 37 seconds to play. Gold leaves blue, 13-7. Blue driving, going from right to left as we see it. 3rd and 12 This is not a field goal opportunity from this far out, Bill, so they're going to need to try to pick up the first down, or it's going to be a 2-down territory, obviously, if they don't make it here. Connor Campbell is going out and chatting with Caleb Yanovich off to the right, 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. That's Devin Green from Delaware Military Academy in his hip. Caleb Yanovich goes in motion right to left. Connor Campbell rolls out, drills it, gets it to Yanovich. Yanovich driven out of bounds there by Gunnar Abbott. Going to be short of the first down. They're going to mark it at the 14-yard line. Going to bring up a 4th and 4 for the blue team here with 43 seconds to play. The clock did stop because the ball was ended up out of bounds on the tackle.
John, I wish I had a telestrator for that play. Devin Green, who we know is a great runner and a tough guy, he just had a terrific block on the edge there to allow Campbell to get out running to his left on a sprint out and a beautifully delivered pass to give them a conceivably makeable 4th down.
4th down and 4. Campbell stays right in the pocket, delivers it out, finds his man. It looks like they got the first down. That was Jordan Green from Delaware Military Academy. They're going to mark it at the 9, which means it is a first down. 36 seconds left to play. Blue with 1 timeout left, rushes up to the line. Campbell trying to get everybody to set. Not sure if they're going to run a play, Bill, or whether they're just going to spike the ball. We'll see here in just a second. And Campbell just spikes it. Doesn't surprise me, Bill, with the amount of practice time. They probably don't have a big package to put in there at that point.
You're right. I think in a normal season situation with a timeout remaining, you're probably not going to spike that. I think you've got a set play. Maybe you go doubles 2x2 and throw a fade into the end zone. Maybe it becomes a PI. Maybe you get a touchdown, and worst is an incomplete pass, which stops the clock. But I think you're right. Just being able to get organized there in a formation that can yield them that is a little tough. I just hate to waste it down, especially when you have a timeout remaining.
Yeah, so Connor Campbell's going to come up to the line and scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 9. 29 seconds left to play here. 1 timeout for each team remaining. Devin Green from the Military Academy is on Campbell's right. They're going to hand it to Green. He goes around left. This is going to be his best run of the game so far as he scores. So a 9-yard touchdown run for Devin Green, and Blue strikes back and ties this game up.
Well, that was a wonderful call. They run an outside zone play that becomes a bounce. They had read that the edge player was coming off really flat, and that allowed Green to bounce outside. And boy, he is so quick at getting his shoulders down the field and finishing. Just an outstanding play. Very well blocked by the left side of Blue's offensive line.
Jack Burns is going to be on the hole. Jackson Bly from Brandywine is going to try to tie this game up with the extra point, kicking it from the 10-yard line there. 13-13, blue and gold tied up. There have been 3 ties in this game over the 66 years that it has been played. Snap is back, kick is up, and it is no good, wide left. So Jackson Bly misses, wide left in this game, remains tied 13-13 with 25 seconds left here in the first half. And Bill, I was just thinking, great game. Can't ask for anything better than a tie game. Beautiful weather. Sun is completely off the field. It's still on the east side of the end zone, just like it is for the University of Delaware football games. But, you and I have been doing this for several years. We've had extremely hot conditions in the press box across the way where there is no air conditioning. We've had thunderstorms. We've had wind. We've had a lot of different things. Tonight is one of the nicer weather nights I've been involved in over the past several years.
Well, you did a great job of dialing up this weather, John. Not only did you dial it up, you described it perfectly. Yeah, it's very, very pleasant. It's great for the players. I think initially at game time it was about 81 degrees, you mentioned, and it was probably more like 90 down on the field. I was actually out on the AstroTurf field earlier today, and it was pretty darn hot out there. But the players are well conditioned. I give them a lot of credit. When you come off you're a senior and you graduate, and then whatever happens, and all of a sudden you've got to come into camp. How well you can condition is really up to you, and I think they've done a great job because the coaches are too busy installing plays and schemes for them to do any sort of conditioning. It really wouldn't matter in a week anyway. So a great job by both teams. I see everybody's fit, and fortunately we've been quite healthy throughout this game, and let's hope it stays that way.
Bly's getting ready to kick off, and it's going to be not a pooch kick, but a short kick handled there at the 22-yard line. That's going to be Javier Wright from Laurel. He makes a couple guys miss. 3 or 4 guys missed before he's finally brought down there by Sam Dumas from Salesianum and a host of other people. He drags him up to about the 41-yard line. So Gold will have the ball with 15 seconds to play. Again, game tied 13-13. Gold moving left to right as we see it. And so, as I mentioned, 3 ties in this game. Blue leads the series, but Gold has won 4 in a row. So one of the challenges that head coach Belace gave them was, hey, let's break this streak. You guys can be the ones that broke this 4-year streak here. 37 guys, Bill, going to be playing college football from this field in the fall. So you talk about the shape of the players. That's probably one of the reasons a lot of these guys are in good shape. They've got to stay in shape.
Well, these guys play multiple sports. They condition now year-round. Everybody is really conscious of that, and a lot of credit to these young men for being so ready to play. Javier Wright's really impressed me. He had that wonderful punt return earlier, that kickoff return. He traversed the field to the right. He broke at least 6 or 7 tackles, and it took a gang tackle to bring him down. Not big at 5'11", 150, but great feet and runs with a lot of authority.
Von Brandt's got 3 wide receivers to his left. He lobs it over there, finds his man. That's Jalen Morris from Lake Forest. He scampers out of bounds, chased out of bounds there by Andre Modest from Brandywine. Actually, it looks like number 20. No, is it Modest? I can't see his number that far.
Jalen Morris is really a smooth receiver. Made a great decision there. He started to turn up the field but said, hey, I need to get out of bounds and stop the clock. He's going to Delaware State. He's a basketball and a track specialist, a terrific athlete. I really enjoy watching him run patterns. He's effortless, comes out of his breaks with a lot of arm action. He's got wonderful hands.
It was Osi Chowachka that pushed him out of bounds there. Von Brandt in 8 seconds left. Gold does have 1 timeout left if they get it within field goal range. He whips it outside through the hands there of Jalen Morris from Lake Forest, and so did save 3 seconds there. Not going to attempt a field goal from here. It'll be interesting to see if they try the Hail Mary, Bill. Von Brandt's got the arm. He can get it to the end zone.
Well, there's no doubt that should be the play. And again, did you have a chance to get in trips and run people down? Now, what they might do is show formation one side and then come back and hope you get rolled coverage to that, and you get a one-on-one on the backside. Von Braun has plenty of arm strength to get the ball either in or very close to the end zone. And then, if nothing else, maybe you get the benefit of a PI, and then you have an untimed down at the end of the half.
And there's not going to be a big rush. 3 guys, their linebackers are going to be back as well as the safeties. They just want the ball to fall dead, knowing this could be the last play, will be the last play without a penalty. Von Brandt lifts it up, and he's got his man, and the catch is made out of bounds. That is Devin DeMoe from Smyrna who makes the catch, but he gets pushed out of bounds there by Jack Burns from St. Mark's. Don't think it saved the touchdown, because I think DeMoe was heading out of bounds anyway, but still an excellent throw and a great catch. It's an all-star game after all.
Great job by Von Braun. They did just what we talked about. They showed trips one side. They throw back to the single receiver, DeMoe, who I think has really shown up well in this game in the first half. Burns is tough. He's over there. Such a great competitor. A really fun first half. We had some penalties early, but teams settled down. We had a big special teams play. We had a big special teams play called back. And then we had some really good, fine running in the red zone by both teams.
All right, coming at the half. Earlier this week, I sat down with former DFRC Executive Director Tony Glenn, who is still an active member of the DFRC Board of Trustees overseeing athletics. We talked about the changes to this great event during his tenure, his transition into retirement, and what the future holds for the Blue Gold All-Star Football Game. Your halftime score, Blue 13, Gold 13. You're listening to the DFRC Blue Gold All-Star Football Game on Fox Sports 1290, 1410 WDOV, and iHeartRadio.
Over the past 25 years, Colonial Motors has connected countless Delawareans. Find your next vehicle at one of 3 convenient locations or browse their vast inventory online at colonialmotorsinc.com.
Bridges have connected people for centuries. When it comes to helping small businesses build bridges with the people they serve, there's a new gold standard. 412 Communications offers a uniquely comprehensive array of media solutions, including writing and editing services, web and graphic design, social media management, multimedia production, consultation, and more to help your brand establish and maintain strong, lasting connections with your clientele. Learn more at 412communications.com.
The future of Delaware hockey is here. First State Ice Hockey is committed to growing the game, raising the bar, and building better, more complete youth hockey players in and around Delaware. Join the movement of one state, one goal at firststateicehockey.com. Think about it. The trash and recycling bins in our homes, even with normal use, are places where harmful bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli can multiply by the thousands. But like anyone, you want to keep your home and your family as healthy as possible. Delaware Trash Can Cleaning can help. They sanitize your trash cans with high-pressure hot water jets that can kill over 99% of the germs and bacteria in your cans in just a few minutes. To schedule your first cleaning, call 302-310-9075 or visit DelawareTrashCanCleaning.com.
Bridges have connected people for centuries. When it comes to helping small businesses build bridges with the people they serve, there's a new gold standard. 412 Communications offers a uniquely comprehensive array of media solutions to help your brand establish and maintain strong, lasting connections with your clientele.
Let's face it, saving for retirement doesn't happen overnight. It takes planning, and Limestone Pension Associates has spent the past 35 years helping small businesses do just that. Limestone specializes in crafting, planning, and handling the day-to-day administration of qualified pension plans tailor-fit to your company's needs and objectives. To schedule a consultation, call 302-479-8817 or visit limestonepension.net to learn more.
Bill Harmon here, the 66th annual DFRC Blue Gold All-Star Football Game, and it doesn't get any better than this. 13-13 is your score. Let's run down the scoring real quick. Blue opened it up. Kai-Shawn Drumgo, 5-yard touchdown run, but Gold answered back. Ryan Von Brandt hit Zaire Tart in the end zone for a touchdown, and then on Blues' next possession, they had to punt the ball. It was blocked by Donovan Mack. Elijah Alexander scooped it up and scored to put his team up 13-7. St. George's Donovan Mack and Elijah Alexander, St. George's teammates with each other's, as Bill mentioned here at the halftime of St. George's connection. And then Blue scored late in the first half. Devin Green scampered around the left side for a 9-yard touchdown to knock it up 13-13. The extra points were both missed on those final 2 touchdowns, to 1 for each team. And Bill, you've got some interesting stats here, courtesy of Corey Silbergleton, a Wilmington Friends football and baseball player here joining us in the broadcast booth.
Well, we talked about Connor Campbell in the pregame show about what a dynamic athlete he is and playmaker. He's really shown up well in this game. 5 for 9 for 83 yards. He's done a nice job of running the ball, had that quarterback draw in the first quarter. Devon Green, 23 yards rushing, which doesn't seem like a lot for a big-time runner, but he had that 9-yard touchdown run, and let's credit that Gold front, and they've played about 10 different people in there, so it's a variety of players, but they've done a really nice job. And Gardner for Gold has 22 yards. They're both Gold quarterbacks. Braun and Saxon have done a nice job running their clubs at different times. Braun came in at the end and really was impressive to me, stepping up in the pocket and making some big throws, and Saxton has also been on target. So interestingly enough, both teams have been fairly sharp, and in a game like this you might expect some more 3-and-outs. The Blues got 3 3-and-outs, the Gold 2, and outside of that we had some early penalties, but I think it's settled down and they're playing at a much more efficient level. And that's how you yield a 13-13 halftime score.
5 possessions each for the Blue and for the Gold. Blue leads this series 32-30. There have been 3 ties. Gold has won the last 4 games here at Delaware Stadium. Connor Campbell played the entire first half under center for Sal's. Demir Hollingsworth is the backup quarterback. Will be interesting to see whether he gets in the game or not. Bill, we'll see a lot of shuffling here in the second half. Probably, I would think, particularly in the third quarter, making sure everybody gets playing time, gets in the game, and then when the fourth quarter comes around, as we've seen in the past, everybody wants to win, and the players who they think they have the best chance to win will be in the game.
Well, I think both coaching staffs have done a nice job of getting a lot of different players involved. We got that great stat from Corey about midway through the first half, 11 different players had made tackles for the Gold team, so that means their second line or their reserves are doing a good job, and that's so important in this game that you get everybody and as much of an equal opportunity to play until you said, and maybe until the last minutes of the game, and I think the coaching staffs have both done a really good job of that. Blue won the toss. They elected to defer, and now they're receiving here at the start of the second half.
DFRC, the beneficiary of this game. They've raised more than $6.3 million in the past 67 years. Benefits organizations around the state that do things for people with intellectual disabilities. The Blue Gold All-Star Buddies this year, Madison Jeffers from Caesar Rodney High School. She enjoys reading, coloring, and painting, and is a member of the Future Farmers of America Club at Caesar Rodney High School. Ryan Hallett is 15 years old, attends William Penn High School, likes to play on the computer, watch cartoons, and play video games. Both of them are here in attendance with us. So kicking off for the Gold is going to be Jonathan Wiltshire of Middletown. And a little pooch kick, not necessarily an onside kick, but it's scooped up there by C.J. Coombs, and he escapes 2 tackles. He's run 15 yards backwards. Now he gets around the left side, and he's being chased there, and is going to be tackled by Zachary Caldwell, the 6'2", 170 guy from Middletown, drives him out of bounds. So Coombs looked like he was in trouble, Bill, then got around to the left side, and fortunately for Gold, they were able to catch up to him and chase him out of bounds.
What a daring play. At first it was one of those, oh no, and then all of a sudden in basketball when the shot goes in, you say, oh, great shot. He gave up a lot of yardage there to gain some, but he did a great job of converting that as he reversed field to the left side, and a good job retracing there by Caldwell to really save even a longer gain. So dynamic plays in the special teams. We saw the block punt for a touchdown. We saw the big return earlier with the callback for holding, and now a really great kickoff return to start the second half, giving the Blue team excellent field position.
So halftime 20 minutes, so I imagine most of the time Bill spent in the locker room wasn't putting in any more plays. It was talking about what they've done well, what they need to do better to get through this second half here. 13-13. And is that Connor Campbell in still at quarterback?
Yes, it is.
So Sally's graduate in at quarterback. He's whips it out to the right-hand side, and there's one of those trick plays you talked about, Bill, as number 10, Demir Hollingsworth, who's the backup quarterback, caught the ball, pitched it back to Devin Green, and they picked up 7 yards.
Well, that's really fun to see, and after an explosive special teams play, why not run a little trickeration? And that time they throw a quick hitch, and we call that a hook and ladder, an old school play, probably coming from the 50s. The halfback Green comes out of the backfield and trails it slowly. They get the ball and they lateral it out to the side. A really well-designed play. And actually, I think the goal team did a pretty good job of containing that at only 7 yards.
Yeah, because it's not something they've seen on film. They don't have the benefit of that. Handoff is to Johnny Beverly Davis from AI DuPont. And he gets tackled there. Probably got back to the line of scrimmage.
Parker Cannon and Michael Santos really did a good job there of kind of just constricting the play. These big linemen for the goal team have done a good job of closing down gaps, forcing the ball to bounce outside, not allowing any crevices to be available inside. So some really fine defensive play by the goal team.
Going to bring up a 3rd and 3. Connor Campbell in, got wide receivers, one out to each of the right side. Beverly Davis in the backfield, a 5'8", running back, 185 pounds. He's been injured the last 2 seasons, so he's probably as thrilled as anybody to get another chance to put the helmets on. Passes outside there to Kaishon Drumgo of Caramel Academy. He gets driven out of bounds by number 19, Dwayne Ratcliffe from Smyrna. Correction, Jace Harmon from Sussex Tech, another one of those number changes that we had. Jace Harmon with the tackle for the goal.
We talk so much about Drumgo's physical running, but he's also a very capable receiver. Did a nice job there of shaping up. Campbell is so good out on the perimeter. I think some of his best passes come not only with escapes, but just the sprint out game. Coach John Bellis is doing a really nice job of having a lot of variety in his offense.
Empty backfield. Campbell went out to his right, quick hitch out to C.J. Coombs from Delaware Military Academy, and it landed on a bounce up to Coombs. So incomplete pass, going to bring up a 2nd and 10. The wind has calmed down a little bit. Lights are on here at Delaware Stadium. Blue moving left to right, as Bill and I see it.
Andre Green from St. Elizabeth. We talked about him in the pregame show about his defense, but he's doing a nice job at center. 6'3", 245, going to play football at Delaware Valley, a really fine program just over the line in Pennsylvania. Doing a nice job against the nose tackle.
Twin receivers on each side. Jordan Green goes in motion right to left. Campbell on the keeper, brings it up, tackled there by DJ Conquest. One representative from Red Lion. Picked up about 5, going to bring up a 3rd and 5.
That's just such a staple of the Archmere offense. They fake the jet sweep, which is the man coming in motion since you've got a gun quarterback. We call that jet versus speed sweep when you're under. And then they run the quarterback on a quick counter play up to follow that. You're hoping to get overruns by the linebacker. Campbell really good at that. He's got exceptionally quick feet.
Same formation, twins on each side, and this ball is tipped up in the air and caught there by Jordan Green, but he's actually going to lose about 4 yards. Probably should have just knocked it down. Of course, they're not thinking that. He's thinking, I'll catch it, make a great play, and run to the end zone. Going to bring up a 4th and 9 at the 39-yard line.
I thought that was Parker Campbell getting his hands up from Laurel, 6'1", 280, and that's what happens when you're a defensive lineman from time to time. You'll rush, but you see quick release by the quarterback. You stop, you rush, you wait, and then you jump up and try to get your hands on the ball. Really well played there by Parker Cannon.
And so it's going to bring up a 4th and 9. Blue is going to go for it, as you would expect here in the gold territory. Campbell's got Devin Green on his right hip, 2 wide receivers, 2 in the slot. Campbell back, throws it up, and that's going to be picked off. Misread there by the receiver. He and Campbell not on the same page. Gunnar Abbott from Sussex Central picks it off and returns it to what would have been the 1st down on the 29-yard line. So going to be gold possession there. And, you know, Bill, maybe as good as a punt, but definitely some miscommunication there.
Absolutely. I think he was looking for a go pattern where the receiver runs quickly to the flat and then turns up the field. If nothing else, Campbell threw it into a position where it would act like a punt. And those are things, when you talk to a defensive backfield coach, they're always going to tell you they want interceptions, so they want that ball caught. In a situational aspect, there's one where you might just knock it down because your field position might be better if you just take the incompletion. But I don't blame Gunnar Abbott in an all-star game. Catch the ball and try to make a play. So I'm going with Gunnar Abbott on that.
Yep, nope, I agree with you. I would do the same thing and ask questions later, or answer questions later, I guess. So it's going to be first down for the Gold here, 9:21 to play. Tie game 13-13. As we mentioned, there have been 3 other ties in this series. And Bill, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know the answer whether they play one overtime or some possessions, or I think it just ends.
The game will end.
That's what I thought.
The game will end in a tie.
And so,
unless they have changed that rule, and I can't imagine that's going to happen in an all-star game.
No, and especially with 36 players on each team, many going on to play in college. So Saxon from Milford is back in, and the handoff to Brock Connor. And it looks like he's going to pick up 3 or 4 yards. Ball got knocked away from him, but recovered it himself. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 6 on the 34-yard line.
And Di Gregorio and Scott Lucarelli, who's going to the University of Virginia, were both in on that tackle. And when you watch this, if you have the opportunity on the streaming to take a look, their stances are so superb. They just look like football players, and they look like they're going to make a play. I mean, it starts with that. If you can't line up right and get in a good stance, you can't play.
Handoff is to Connor again, trying to scoot around the left, finds a hole, works it up. He's going to be closer. He's right. They're marking it right on the 40, and if that's the case, it's going to be a first down. So a nice move there by Connor, finding the hole after breaking outside, coming back up.
We talk about a lot of players in this game and their skill sets, but one of the big things that I look at is you're a safety, and you're lined up 8 to 10 yards. How quickly do you come down and fill? And Friend's school player, O.C., did a great job there of getting down the line of scrimmage and making that tackle. Even though it was a first down, he saved the bigger play, and he just acts like a missile with his insert.
Another handoff up the middle there. That's Brock Connor from Cesar Rodney again at 2,000 yards last 2 years. His senior year was cut short due to an injury. So Coach Dan Candelora, the CR coach, was telling me he was thrilled to be able to be healthy for this game. You know, no senior wants to have their season cut short because of injury and not get to play a last game. And so very fortunate, Brock Connor feels very fortunate to be able to play in this game. Going to bring up a 2nd and 4. Saxon in at quarterback in the backfield. Claps his hand, hands it off to Connor again. He tries to get around the end, and a nice tackle there. First one in on that play was number 24, Avery Copes, who got his hands on him and prevented Connor from turning his shoulders up and possibly getting away.
Also, Mason McCluskey did a really nice job to the ball. Much like Lucarelli and Di Gregorio, he has great anticipatory skills. He had 44 tackles, 12 for a loss. Now, Mason is not going to be going to college. He's going to work.
Delaware Military Academy, who racked up 44 tackles, 12 for loss on the year.
What's impressive to me about Von Braun, he's a big man. He's got long features. He gets the ball out very quickly. He's got a very precise and concise delivery. He's got excellent technique, delivers the ball on target. I've been very impressed with both he and Saxton for the goal.
Von Brandt going to VMI to play tight end next year. We were talking about that during the break. Impressive young man, is a 4-year starter at Apo High. He works it up and he's trying to hit, that is Devin DeMoe, who's been a target at least 5 or 6 times, and overthrew DeMoe. But what I liked about that pass, Bill, is that nobody was going to catch it except DeMoe.
Well, Von Braun did a nice job of what we call climbing the pocket. That means he gets to his drop and then he feels edge rushers. He starts to slide up in the pocket. He kept his shoulders flat, eyes down the field, and delivered a really good pass, as you mentioned, only put it in a position where his receiver could have gotten it. Tim Hill is really quick. I've been impressed with him with his coverage. He had one at the end of the half down the field, but I'll tell you what, this young man can really move his feet. He's going to be a great cover corner.
3rd and 6 for goal. Tie ball game 13-13 here. 5:09 left to play. John Busby along with Bill Harmon. Eric Reinecker is on Von Brandt's right hip, 3 wide receiver to the right. Von Brandt's going to keep it. He's going to drive forward and try to stick that 6'7" body out for the 2nd time in this game. Von Brandt loses his helmet, and it looks like that may cost him the first down. As you pointed out in high school, as soon as the helmet comes off, the whistle blows, and he's about a yard short.
By schematic design, they go trip spread, meaning the receivers are all spread out, and then they run Von Braun up the middle. What they're looking at is a numbers count. as to cover those wide receivers, you drop your DN. You had another DN dropped off, so it was really only a 5-man box, as we call it, between the tackles, and Von Brandt read that perfectly. They run the quarterback draw, and unfortunately he lost his helmet, but he's been very impressive in these downhill runs, as you've mentioned. A very physical player at the point of attack.
Sean Saxon back in, the Milford quarterback. He's under center, fumbles the snap, but the ball moves forward. They're going to say he was down. Actually, it didn't move forward. Looked like it moved forward. He recovered his own fumble at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be a turnover on downs for the Gold team.
And that's always some of the interesting things when you're so used to being in the gun. Now you get underneath. You've got to make sure you have great pressure with your hands up in the center's hip area. You've got to ride him with that, and it looked like Saxon just pulled out a little bit early, resulting in the non-conversion. Time with your center, and that really, to develop that kind of relationship, it is a time-consuming thing, and when you're running out of the gun a lot, just how you're not going to have an opportunity to practice that.
Gold head coach Sean Strickland couldn't say enough about his quarterback, a 4-year starter, 3-year captain, as you pointed out in the pregame show, Bill. That's quite an accomplishment. He's actually coming to the University of Delaware. Not going to be playing football. He was an all-conference baseball player, and 4 years he's been an academic all-conference performance. Strickland calls him one of the finest young men he's had the opportunity to coach.
I think we're going to get a defensive illegal procedure here, and I believe they're going to say the linebackers might have been too close to the line of scrimmage. I think that's what's being adjudicated here, because the blue defense is, I believe, coming back out on the field.
You're right. They're moving the sticks. Now, what I don't like about that, Bill, is that had nothing to do with the play. That was a fumbled snap by the quarterback.
Thank you. And I think there's just got to be some discretion in these type of calls. I mean, players are so aggressive, they're used to it. And my point is, on short yardage, you should be able to have your linebackers get up close. That's what you're taught.
Right. But again, the linebacker didn't cause the fumble. They dropped the fumble. Von Brandt floats it out. That could be an interference, but a great catch there, out there by Elijah Alexander from St. George's. Just a great catch. Von Brandt floated it out there. It looked like there could have been an interference call against the defense. There was not. And Elijah Alexander, 6'4", 230 tight end, went up and got it. He plans to play football in college, just not sure where yet. So that defensive penalty, we don't think should have been called, but a rule is a rule, Bill. We got to accept that. Is going to end up costing Blue if Gold is able to punch this in.
A nice throw by Von Brandt, but here's the reason why. He's got an exceptional receiver. We talk about Eli Alexander, and I'm pretty sure he's going to the University of Maine, John, up in Bangor. But Eli Alexander at 6'4", he has great jumping ability. He frames it up almost like a rebounder blocking out. Presented a great picture for Von Brandt to throw the ball to.
And that was a handoff there to Eric Reiniger, but it's going to come back. There was a flag on the play before the whistle blew.
Alexander playing both sides of the ball for Coach John Wilson, whose team had an excellent season last year, 8-2. Won the first round of the lost in the first round of the playoffs, unfortunately, but that's a program that's really on the rise. An excellent coaching staff down there: Lee Sibley, Jimmy Cullen, Dave Williams, and others. Devin LeBeau, who played at St. Mark's. They have a great staff. John Wilson really runs one of the finest programs in the state, and that program, they have a lot of good young players, and they're getting better every year.
And you're right, he is going to Maine. The reason I didn't have that is because Wilson is so good about returning my emails. He was one of the first one when I sent it out 2 months ago.
He might be the most organized man I know in the history of the world, and I mean that as a compliment.
Von Brandt drops back, fakes the handoff. He gets pushed out of the pocket, floats it up into the end zone, and he's trying to find Alexander again, and that ball gets knocked away. Hung up in the air just a little bit too long. If he was able to maybe get more of a zip on there, might have gotten through there, but it's going to bring up a second down.
Wilmington Friends player OC, a terrific job back there competing. He's got 4 individual tackles on his own, plus 2 knockdowns. He's playing safety back there against some taller opponents, but let me tell you, he never backs down. A terrific player, as we mentioned, going to Case Western, an excellent academic school in Cleveland. He's also going to play football there, and it's a very fine and historic program.
And he's also a baseball player.
Yes, he is. Yep. Talk about speed on the base paths. That young man can really run.
3:11 to play, 13-13. John Busby along with Bill Harmon here on Fox Sports 1290, 1410 WDOV and iHeartRadio. The 66th annual Blue Gold All-Star Football Game. Blue leads the series by 2. Gold's won the last 4. Von Brandt's in the shotgun on 2nd and 15, fires it to the left, but it's going to arrive on a bounce, but they're saying that ball might have been thrown in the backfield. No official call yet. I think it was, Bill. You're pointing as if you might have thought it was too. They were trying to get it to Zaire Tart, and they're getting together and discuss it. I still haven't seen an official call. I do see a ref. Nope, they are saying a turnover there, and so it was a backward pass behind the line of scrimmage, arrived on a hop to Tart, and Blue recovered.
Well, when you throw a double pass, you've got to throw behind the line of scrimmage and behind you. And Tart did not fall on that pass, which became a lateral. And how about the big man, Wakil Frazier, 6'3", 290, from Howard, Dan Ritter, one of the really fine coaches in the state, must have talked over that situation with him throughout on those offensive line. Parker Campbell virtually unblocked. He gets right in and makes the tackle. Donovan Mack over on the other side potentially drew a double team. So you've got to deal with that when you're trying to scheme. Whether you run zone or man, you've got to make sure you have certain players blocked always. If you're going to leave somebody alone, it might be the edge guy. Right now, the gold defensive line is resetting that line of scrimmage, as I mentioned.
Devin Green and Kaishawn Drumgo, the two starting running backs, one on each hip. In motion is Dymere Hollingsworth. Campbell has it. He's going to keep it, looking for a hole up the middle. It's collapsing quickly. He doesn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe picks up a yard. There is a flag on the play in the backfield. We'll wait and see what this one is. Would be 4th down if it is against, and it probably declined if it is against the blue team. We'll wait and see here.
I thought I might have detected a face mask.
You got it, Bill. Face mask against gold. So that's the only good thing that's happened for Blue on this drive. They've gone completely backwards on every play after recovering that illegal backward pass.
Well, Campbell runs, John, with such a low center of gravity that if you come in and you're bigger than him, Campbell's already turning the corner. You've got to be sure you're at his pad level as well. And that time, I think the defensive player reached in and grabbed.
And so it is a face mask penalty. Blue. Campbell with one running back on each hip, claps, throws it off, but we also had an offensive lineman move. That was Sam Dumas who reacted, but he might have been hit before he reacted. It'll be up to the officials to make that decision, whether it's illegal motion or a defensive offsides. The officials are getting together.
I won't speculate, but Campbell's really clever with his cadence, and he might have been able to draw off either Alexander on the left side or possibly Copes from Milford on the right side.
Yeah, he definitely drew him off there, and that's exactly what they are going to call. So it's going to be another 5 yards. Blue is going to move in the positive there. So 2 penalties has really resurrected a drive that was going completely in the wrong direction, Bill.
Oh, that's what you like about a player like Campbell. He just kind of keeps his team in the game by making plays. He's run the ball 5 times for 23 yards, so he's been a really positive factor that way, considering he's been able to get out on the perimeter, but also run that quarterback counter and that quarterback draw down in the red zone.
And so it's going to be 3rd and 3, and the handoff is going to be up the middle, but completely crushed there. Elijah Alexander leading the way, and it's going to be a loss of 1 or 2.
Saxon Lions kickoff in the end zone for a touchback.
John Busby and Bill 5-yard pass into the left side of the end zone. Jackson Bly followed up that excitement with a kickoff into the end zone, and so Gold is going to take over on their own 20-yard line. And you said it, Bill, during the break, penalties in the name of the game on that last drive.
Well, it was the face mask and then the unsportsmanlike penalty. Then they lose one of their better defensive players. Campbell takes advantage of it. A great call by John Ballet Sims, and Connor Campbell found him.
Coombs was wide open and taken down there in the backfield of Samir Gardner. That was a great tackle. I didn't catch the number. Maybe you did, Bill. And that's probably going to be the last play of the third quarter, 16 seconds left on the clock.
Well, when a man pulls you down, that's probably Wakeel Frazier, and that's exactly who it was. Dave Frazier's been very impressive here this evening.
And that brings us to the end of the third quarter of the 66th annual DFRC Blue Gold game. Blue leads 20-13. We'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this.
Let's now welcome on the field our Blue.
Over the past 25 years, Colonial Motors has connected countless Delawareans with pre-owned cars to satisfy every purpose and budget. Find your next vehicle at one of 3 convenient locations or browse their vast inventory online at colonialmotorsinc.com.
Bridges have connected people for centuries. When it comes to helping small businesses build bridges with the people they serve, there's a new gold standard. 412 Communications offers a uniquely comprehensive array of media solutions, including writing and editing services, web and graphic design, social media management, multimedia production, consultation, and more to help your brand establish and maintain strong, lasting connections with your clientele. Learn more at 412communications.com.
The future of Delaware hockey is here. First State Ice Hockey is committed to growing the game, raising the bar, and building better, more complete youth hockey players in...
John Busby, Bill Harmon back for the fourth quarter of this Blue Gold All-Star football game. Blue leads Gold 20-13, trying to snap a 4-game win streak by the Gold. This game started back on August 25th, 1956. The founders were Bob Carpenter and Jimmy Williams, both parents of children with intellectual disabilities, and that's what inspired the fundraising event. And what a game it has become. 66 years in a row, the longest standing continuous football all-star game in the country. A lot of people don't know the son of Jimmy Williams is Pat Williams, who was an NBA executive for years with the Orlando Magic, I think was his last stint, and of course Bob Carpenter's son, Ruly Carpenter, owner of the Phillies. So not only two very successful men started this, but their sons became very involved in this event as well. 20-13, Blue leads Gold. Gold has the ball moving left to right as we see it. Milford, quarterback Saxon, is in. He drops back, looks to his left, fires left, and was the ball caught in bounds? They say no, it was out of bounds, trying to get the ball out there to Jalen Morris from Lake Forest. And Bill, this is where we start to see some of the players we maybe haven't seen yet. The coach is probably going through who hasn't been in, who hasn't played a significant time, and that was an example right there. We haven't called Jalen Morris's name yet today.
Well, it's good to see all these young men getting in and getting an opportunity to play. You were talking about the Carpenter family. I have the good fortune to have known both of those gentlemen. Unfortunately, we lost Ruly in this past year, a dear friend of mine, and I used to see him almost every morning holding court at Jansen's Market in Greenville, and it's a big loss to us, and that entire Carpenter family deserves an unbelievable amount of credit for all they've done philanthropically throughout the state.
Connor Campbell's pass to the left there, broken up by Tim Hill. He was trying to get the ball to Zach Caldwell of Middletown. Caldwell caught 21 passes for almost 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's going to play football at Kutztown University. Bill, 24 guys on the Gold team that we know of are playing football next year, 13 on the Blue team. That's as many as I remember doing these games.
Absolutely, John, and just multi-talented player, offense and defense, special teams, came off the edge and made a great tackle as he worked down the line of scrimmage. Excellent technique, not getting too deep.
Beverly Davis shaken up a little bit, comes over to the sideline, talking to the coaching staff there. So in his place is Devin Green will be on the right hip, Kaishawn Drumgo on the left, and Connor Campbell, one wide receiver out on each side. 2nd and 1. Campbell again picks up the low snap, scampers around to the right side, trying to get it in the inside. of the end zone, taken down, flag on the play. He was tackled there by number 46, Jonathan Wiltshire from Middletown, who had 34 tackles and 5 interceptions in the regular season. We'll see what this flag's all about. 2 flags I saw.
Well, one is thrown in the area of a hold, but I'm not sure what they're going to get.
You got the hold right. And it looks like that's going to be the only flag or the only call. Might have been the same hold the 2 refs saw, so that's going to back Blue up 10 yards. They'll redo the down.
And that's what happens when you have, say, an unscripted play occur. That was supposed to be a play running to the left of zone lead, and Campbell didn't realize he had to get out to the right side. That's when your blockers get what I would just call, they get their shoulders turned, and what you do there, you're better off releasing your hands, just screening off, and I think it happened out on the perimeter. So the goal team now being the beneficiary of a penalty by the Blue here deep in the red zone.
Devin Green, the lone running back, to the left, Connor Campbell, 2 wide receivers, including in the slots on both sides. Another fumbled snap there, low on Campbell, recovers it, whips it out to the right. Ball is caught out there. No, it's they're going to say incomplete. It was caught by Javier Wright for the goal team. So almost an interception, but they're going to say the ball skipped into White's hands, and so an incomplete pass going to bring up a 3rd down and long for the Blue. 3rd and 19, have to get in the end zone to score.
You know, in this situation earlier in the game, the Blue team went empty and ran the quarterback draw. That's certainly something they can run. How about a trick play here from John Bellis? He's very clever. He's got really great schematics. I think one of the really fine coaches in the state, obviously a wonderful program. The last couple of years he's had some excellent players, Lucarelli, Walker, who's playing in this game, and Di Gregorio. He's got some other really good players coming up, so this is a program that's arrived and going to be around for a long time.
Both coaches told us they had plays. We saw the gold run one. We'll see if Blue has one here. Campbell drops back. He's just going to loft it into the end zone, hope his receiver can go well up and get it, and he does. That's Demir Hollingsworth from Howard, who leaps into the air and grabs the 19-yard touchdown from Campbell.
Well, when in doubt, how about throw a fade to Hollingsworth with a good matchup? Man-to-man, they were man-free there, and the safety could not roll over. A wonderful throw by Campbell, who I think has had an excellent game, running the ball, orchestrating the offense, some really timely passes. He's been exquisite. And Hollingsworth, a really underrated receiver, an excellent athlete over at Howard playing for Dan Ritter. Really did a great job there of what we call stacking. He gets leverage on the cornerback. He stays right in front of him, and that does not enable the cornerback to work over top of him, and then the ball is dropped in. A great pass and a great catch by Hollingsworth. An excellent pattern.
Bill, looks like they're going to try to go for 2 here, 26-13, instead of ensuring a tie if the other team scores twice and kicks 2 extra points. Well, maybe they want a tie.
John's a very intelligent science teacher over at Archmere. He knows the numbers better than I do.
Analytics.
I'm going with him.
I'm not doubting them. Trust me. Just won a state championship for the first time at Archmere.
Being aggressive, and you got to love that.
Connor Campbell up under center, so he won't be able to center the snap. They got an offsides up the middle, it looks like, which is going to get him even closer to the end zone, if that's what they call. Referee discussing it with players on both sides. It looks like they're going to call it against Blue.
I think they caught one of the wide receivers moving prematurely there.
Get the official call from the referee. Here it is, an illegal motion. I want to name the referees here real quick. Terry Handy, Tom Farrow, Robbie Reed, Wayne Hurd, Nelson Burbage, Charlie Gibbs, Al Tunnel, Jim Ferguson, clock operators Derek Hodge, the chain crew, Pete Celeberti, Carl Phelps, Dave Frazier, and Tom Ignaffo, volunteering their time, drove up. They are all from the Delmarva Football Officials Association, which means they all live downstate, volunteered their time to drive up here for this game. We can't thank them enough. A quick snap. Connor Campbell was not ready for it. Picks it up, goes back, lofts it into the air, and it's going to be intercepted by Devin Wilson. And that's a dead ball once that happens at the high school level. And so the extra point, no good. And so a little miscommunication. That's been one of the issues Blue has had on that last series there, Bill. A couple of the snaps scooped back to Connor Campbell. Wasn't ready for that one, but they go away with a 26-13 lead. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. 8:57 to play. Blue up 26-13. Blue leads Gold 26-13 with 8:51 to play here at Delaware Stadium. I'm John Busby along with Bill Harmon. Blue has scored on its last 2 possessions. They just kicked off to Javier Wright, who pitched it back to Zamir Gardner. He was chased out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Actually, correct that, 35-yard line. And that is where Gold will take over. Bill, Blue has an all-state player with 58 catches, so that wouldn't have been a bad guy to throw to. Now they're going with 3 wide receivers on the right. Von Brandt is in the backfield by himself, 2 on the left. So Coach and Von Brandt runs up the middle and he gets tackled. Coach Sean Strickland, I think, realizes what I talked about, the need to score here, not just run some plays and end up kicking the ball back. So 2 plays there, though, and haven't gotten very far. Just 3 yards up to the 43-yard line. Going to bring up a 3rd and 7.
Well, it was a good decision to run because of the numbers count, but the defensive front for the Blue team did a great job. Chris Laws was terrific there from Delcastle, coming off the block to make a tackle. So when they go empty, they're going to drop the defensive ends. They're going to play 5 in the box, so you get a pretty good numbers count to run the ball.
3-man rush. Von Brandt drops back, lofts it up in the middle, and it looked like it could have been a flag there. That's what they're asking for. No call there. They were trying to get it to Jalen Morris from Lake Forest. 3 guys back there on coverage for Middletown. And so that's going to bring up a 4th down. And Bill, you would normally say you have to go for it, but if you go for it and you don't get it, that's trouble here at this point in the game, 8:05 to play.
Yet I think in an all-star game you're probably going to be bold and go for it. At least that would be my guess. That was your deep coverage there. Michael Cornick from William Penn did a great job there in individual coverage, staying right on the hip.
Coach Brian Timpson has almost half the team over close to within earshot of him. He's calling the plays over there on the sideline. Head coach at Appoquinimink, also the head softball coach. Had a successful season there, led his team to the semifinals.
They better watch here. The play clock could be on. They may have to use a timeout, which they would not want to do here because that would only leave them with 1, but maybe the officials will be lenient here.
Yeah, I would say they must be because normally, at least by now, they would be counting it down, and they're not at this point. So 4th and 8 here. Von Brandt back, 3 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Ball's in the left hash mark, moving left to right as Bill and I see it. Von Brandt chased, almost tackled, eludes 1. He's going to loft it up, looking for 2 Gold guys over there. Ball out of bounds, incomplete. They were trying to get the ball to number 14, Dalton Hignut. And nice defense there by Ossie, who we've mentioned his name more than once from Wilmington Friends. And so it's going to be a turnover and downs. Blue is going to take over, and they're going to be looking to kill some clock.
Well, excellent rush off the edge there from the Concord, Connor Schlewis. He did a great job there of pressuring that, forced Von Brandt out of the pocket, forced him to throw on the run. Typically, you're not going to be as accurate, especially when you're throwing almost 60 yards down the field. Von Brandt really showing off that arm. I know they're talking about him as a tight end, but I really like he's been very smart with his mobility. He's been accurate in his passes, and he's a big man who can withstand a hit. So he's been very impressive here this evening, the 4-year starter from Appoquinimink.
Yeah, I got to watch him play quite a bit, and he got better every year, and he got better during the season every year, and that's what you always want to see. Connor Campbell pick up maybe a yard before he gets tackled back. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 9. And the refs are stopping the clock. I don't see a flag. Not sure. Oh, now I do. Yeah.
Connor Campbell now 12 for 18 for 210 yards. He has been extremely impressive, and I believe he has about 30 yards on the ground as well. So he's had an outstanding game. I think you're right in terms of the quarterback position. They've gone with him. Hollingsworth, who could be their backup, has played wide receiver and caught that big-time touchdown pass. So the ability of Campbell to kind of hang in there, getting all these reps. Rashawn Matthews, the offensive coordinator for the Blue team from Howard, also the offensive coordinator there, does a great job. He's very creative. He keeps teams off balance. He's not afraid to be aggressive when other people think he might be running the ball. Had an opportunity to coach his son this year as their quarterback, and that allowed them to move Hollingsworth to wide receiver, and his son is going to be a really fine player.
So they picked up the flag, and Bill, that might have been a case where somebody thought the defense wasn't playing the way they were supposed to. We have special rules here for this Blue Gold All-Star game implemented primarily for safety, I believe, and as they should be. And so they've waved the flag off there, so the clock is now running again. 7:30 to play here It is 2nd and 9. Connor Campbell's alone in the backfield, 2 wide receivers on each side. And he's being chased out of the backfield, and he's off to his right. Now he's going to keep it and run, and he's going to scamper for a first down all the way up to, we'll see where they mark it, at the 29-yard line. So it's actually going to be a yard shy of the first down. And Bill, that reminds me, the first time I saw Connor Campbell play was at Appo this year, and I left that game thinking, you know what, if I was starting a football program in the state of Delaware, he might be the guy I'd put under center.
Well, he's a heck of a competitor. He's a great leader. He just finds a way to get it done, especially, as I mentioned earlier, when the game's on. He has great feet, has wonderful quickness, really good vision, keeps his eyes down the field, and I just love his playmaking ability. He's a guy that you would want to play with.
Play with, play for,
but not against.
So Campbell in on this 3rd and 1. Man goes in motion left to right. And the fake is going to be to Drumgo, and Campbell's going to keep it, but he's going to be tackled short of the first down, actually going to lose a yard. Kyler Weaver from Laurel High, a first state all-state linebacker with the tackle, and so that's going to bring up a 4th and 2 for the blue team.
Weaver did a great job there of staying at home. He's very quick, an excellent tackler, especially in the open field. Going to Del Tech, he's also a terrific wrestler. A really nice block thrown on the edge there by Isaiah Desimo, who really did a nice job in his left tackle position, sealing off. But again, just the terrific run-to by Kyle Weaver did not allow Connor Campbell, but he stayed in bounds, and the clock continues to run. I'm a little surprised that the goal didn't use a timeout there.
4th and 2, ball skips back to Campbell. He grabs it, almost an interception. That could have been a pick 6. Avery Copes saw it go in and out of his hands. Going to be a turnover and downs, but Bill, that could have been a lot worse.
Yes, it could, and Copes dropped off from his defensive end position, was in perfect position to take away the quick hitch. Campbell just did not see him, but fortunately for the blue team, Copes dropped the ball. But again, a time-consuming drive, runs off about 3 minutes off the clock. 6:14, gold team only has 2 timeouts remaining. We're going to have to find a way to matriculate the ball down the field a little bit more rapidly.
You can show off your DFRC Blue Gold Spirit year-round with merchandise available online at dfrc.org/merchandise. Hoodies, hats, shirts, polos, tees, and more. All make for great gifts and to show you support the cause. Plus engraved tumblers, car magnets, duffel bags, and more. That's at dfrc.org/merchandise. 26-13, Blue leads Gold. Gold's got the ball. Bill, I said it was almost a must-score situation last time. I'm going to repeat that again this time. They actually got lucky. Blue had a couple pass plays that didn't work out and stopped the clock. A penalty that was not called stopped the clock. Almost a pick 6 there, as coming in up with it was Mike Cornick, in and out of his hands, and he would have gone the distance. So 2 almost pick 6, 1 for each team there.
Well, one of the issues was that both Tart and Caldwell from Middletown were in the same vicinity. Saxon threw it out there. I think he was trying to hit Tart out in the wide flat. And Cornick did a great job of reading it, breaking on the ball, much like Tim Hill has shown us from Howard earlier on in the game. So really good defensive back play here by the blue team.
Only good thing for Gold on that is it does stop the clock. They're moving left to right, trailing 26-13. They've won 4 of these games in a row, so Blue hoping to snap that streak. Blue has the advantage overall still by 2 games. But they would love to increase that to 3 and be the seniors that broke that 4-year winning streak. Saxon drops back, fires underneath, trying to hit his big tight end. That was number 88, Diego Rodriguez from Sussex Central. First time we've called his name tonight. Nice break up there by C.J. Coombs from Delaware Military Academy.
I happen to be watching Coombs on that play, and he has really been impressive. He's been around the ball all evening. He's come off the edge and made some plays. He's dropped in coverage. He's very versatile at that outside linebacker position. He actually read the route, was on the outside part of the route, and knocked the ball away with his inside arm. I mean, that was an outstanding play. Coombs has had an excellent game from Delaware Military Academy. Going to play football at Sacred Heart, I'm not the least bit surprised. A 3-sport athlete, played basketball and lacrosse. This is a young man that's got a great feel for the game.
Sean Saxon is in at quarterback. In the shotgun, Eric Reinecker from Sussex Tech to his right. Saxon moving people around. He's now got 3 wide receivers over the left, and they were about, even with a generous time clock, Bill, or play clock, they were going to run out of time there. So Brian Timpson has to take a timeout. We're going to take it with him. 6:05 to play. Blue leads Gold 26-13 here in the 4th quarter.
Saxon is sacked by Devon Lum from Hudson Hotel. Loss of 2, 4th down, and 12.
On 3rd and 10, Sean Saxon tried to sneak it up the middle, got dumped by Devon Lum, from Hudson. Going to bring up a 4th down. Punters in, and OC from Wilmington Friends drops back to his own 35-yard line.
John, that was Lum's 5th tackle. He's tied for the tackle lead on the blue team along with Wakil Frazier. And pretty unusual in this game, especially with those outstanding linebackers, for 2 of your defensive linemen to be tied for the most tackles in the game. They've done an excellent job.
Punt is away there by Zamir Gardner, and OC gets it, dodges 1 tackle up the middle, brought down there at the 50-yard line by a host of gold tacklers, led among others by number Tart, I believe, number 6, Zaire Tart, and Blue is going to take over at their own 50-yard line.
Well, the Blue team's really been impressive. They've taken advantage of their opportunities here in the second half. They've had some big play capability with Campbell and Hollingsworth in particular. They've given him just enough protection. That offensive line at times might have early on in the game had difficulty running the ball, but they've protected Campbell when they've needed to most, and they've done a really good job. And along that line, you would talk about DeSimo. Lum has played some. Green has been the center. Malcolm Lewis, Mason Heath Alford. A lot of different players have played for that Blue offensive front, but we need to mention them because they've certainly been a very big part of this victory.
Devin Green loses 2 yards on the carry, tackled in the backfield by Derek Burke, who had 38 tackles and 7 sacks on the season. He's heading to East Coast Prep School in the fall. Campbell's 2 touchdown passes. One was to C.J. Coombs for 55 yards late in the 3rd quarter, and then to Demir Hollingsworth, a 19-yard toss early in the 4th. They've been the only 2 scores of this second half in a game that was tied 13-13 at the half. Campbell's still in a quarterback. He's played every snap. Whips it out to the left. Double coverage out there, and a nice play. Blues looking for a flag. On the play there was Nate Waite. They were trying to get the ball to Andre Modest from Brandywine High. Unable to. Blue looking for a flag there. Not sure, Bill, what you thought. I thought it could have gone either way. They could have called a flag.
I think it was a good no call. Mason Heath Alford from Mount Pleasant. Tell you what, that Mount Pleasant team was certainly not under the radar to my eyes. They had an excellent season. Randy Holmes doing a really good job over there. Heath Alford really does a good job moving his feet to protect Campbell in the pocket. Campbell had ample time there. He's really impressed me, not only just with his scrambling ability, but his accuracy down the field. He's had an outstanding game, and I wonder if he's going to rethink that baseball career and stay with football. No, he's a really good baseball player as well, and he certainly had, you can tell he's been at his best here tonight.
He was Sally's offensive MVP, fake handoff. He's going to keep it up the middle, and he's going to get dragged down, lost a couple yards there, so that's going to bring down a 4th down. Only good thing about that, Bill, is it keeps the clock
It's just
running.
A clock running play, a very safe play. They fake the jet sweep, and he keeps it up the middle, and well played there by the goal, but they're really facing. They're going to need a good return here, maybe another block by Donovan Mack if he can get in there. Very important here that the operation on this long snap to the kicker Bly is on target.
Javier Wright standing at his own 25. Now he's inching his way up, 27-28. Blue run somebody on late there. Almost got called for, or almost had only 10 men on the field, but he's able to get on the field. Bly's ready. Looks like they're going to let the clock go as long as they can, and a flag is thrown.
Going to have a illegal procedure, some movement on the front for the Blue team.
And so that's what you don't want if you're Blue. Not only does it cost you 5 yards, but now the clock is stopped. And Sam Dumas is running off, and now he's running back on. So some confusion on this punt formation here for the Blue team.
The long snapper, Daniel Zavala from Glasgow. They use Mason McCluskey on the short snaps, Zavala on the long snaps.
And so Bly is now going to be back at his own 28-yard line. Javier Wright has moved up to the 30. Again, Javier White's hoping he gets to touch the ball. If I'm Bly, I'm maybe trying to kick it out of bounds.
I think that's a really wise decision.
And there's that block you're talking about, Bill. And so the Gold has the block. Doesn't matter who recovers it. It's going to be Gold ball at the Blue 29-yard line. So that was blocked by Conquest.
snap was just a little high, and that threw off the timing with Bly. That's got to be gone in 2.3 seconds. That probably went at about 2.5, and that's what allowed Conquest to get in from his edge rush. Now a little bit of pressure on the Blue here to hang in there, make a couple defensive plays. Let's see if the Gold team can respond, get the kind of regain the momentum here and attack the end zone.
Gold's only got one timeout. There's 2:59 to play. Blue leads 26-13. Gold moving left to right. They're on their own 30-yard line. Ball is right between the two hash marks. One wide receiver out on each side. Zamir Gardner is in the game on the right hip of Saxon. He hands it off. Actually, that's Eric Reinecker, excuse me, and a nice tackle there by number 16 of the Blue.
That was Burns. That was Jack Burns, and I'm not surprised to see him down in the box at the line of the scrimmage. I think he really thinks of himself as a linebacker who's in a safety position. He fits in extremely well, diagnoses his plays, because Reinecker had been able to turn the corner there. He would have had some more running room.
Reinecker still in on Saxon's right hip there, as it's a 2nd and 8. Saxon drops back. He's going for the end zone. He's looking for Tart, and it gets tipped, I think, at the last second. That was tipped there by Osi to knock it away. So a saving touchdown there by Osi. Tart almost looking for his 2nd touchdown of the game. This 5'8", 180-pound wide receiver from Middleton.
His teammate and co-captain and friends gives me the word that is Osi's 5th deflection.
Wow.
And I'm going to call those pass breakups. So that was an outstanding play. He's really showing up terrifically well, and I don't mean to toot my own player's horn, but he really was a fun guy to coach, and he's having an excellent game here tonight.
Toot all you want, Bill. This is the All-Star game. 2:24 to play, 3rd and 7. Saxon drops back. He's looking for the end zone again, looking for Tart, and Tart turns around, leaps backwards for it, and is unable to come up with the grab. Osi again on the protection there. Didn't tip it, but certainly was well covering the wide receiver from Middleton.
Well, Tart created some separation, and Saxton threw a great ball, and it was just slightly off the fingertips, but also the closing speed by Osi did a good job there, if nothing else, just to distract Tart, who was an excellent downfield receiver. What I like about Tart is when he runs those deep routes, he can create separation, not only with his moves, but his arm action out of the break. So he is really dangerous, and he's also dangerous in and around the line of scrimmage, as they've tried to hit him several times earlier on deep motions to the perimeter.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. They're on the left hash mark, going left to right. Saxon fumbles the snap, 3-man rush, almost gets to him, but he gets the ball away. Pass is completed to Diego Rodriguez, but he's greeted by a host of players on the Blue team, led by Mason McCloskey, and that's going to be a turnover on downs.
Mason's had an excellent game as well. He's a very mobile linebacker. He can play side to side, and he read the screen action there because the lineman dropped immediately. He inserted himself up in the line of scrimmage and makes a great tackle, though. That play might have gone for more yardage had McCluskey not been there.
And so it's going to be a turnover on downs. Blue is going to take